What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Goodest cast. And on this one, I almost edited the shit out of this one because there's some crazy shit that we talk about, and I'm a little nervous to drop it, but here we are. This is also a special one because we're doing a crossover episode with Benson and Nadine Sue, Still Lady Mania podcast. Mark isn't on this one, but I'm going to be dropping an episode with them two, and they're dropping an episode with me today. So way too much my voice out there for one day. Anyway, back to Benson and Nadine. Benson drove in the very first year of Formula D. He brought his Still Lady stock SR T25, took his license plates off at Atlanta, and went and put it in the gravel, like very first run. And he's got a gang of stories. And Nadine's an OG too. She did this very second season of FD. She just wrote a book. She's been on the cover of Carboy Magazine, if you know what that is, with her car, which is savage. Benson's an OG mountain driver from Southern California. Like, that's where he got his start. He was not always trying to go pro. That was not his thing. Like, it was just a different time back then. We get into a lot of those stories. It's really interesting. We get into some of my origin stories, which I hope you guys really enjoy this one. Benson and Nadine are great people. They're trying to keep the culture alive and keep telling these old stories. They just had Forsberg on their podcast. They've had a gang of people who were big influential people to the origins of drifting. They did some Hawaii episodes, which were hilarious and awesome. So definitely check those out. I hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about CoroWorks. CoroWorks is out of Georgia. You probably have seen their name on countless Pro Spec and FD cars. Check out their engine bay dress up stuff. They got the coolest like anodized coil pack covers. I think that they have like these really sick, they got cool shit. They got oil caps, all kinds of stuff. And with code Goodest boy, like you would say to your favorite dog after he fetched you your slippers and morning paper, just pat him on the head and say, there, Goodest boy, thank you for retrieving my things. That will give you 15% off any of the CoroWorks branded stuff from their website. But don't stop there. You can buy plenty of other shit. You can order stuff from them. They have aero, they have sick builds. You want them to build you a full pro car, they can do that. So reach out and pat them on the head like the dog that you love so much, and give them all your money. Hey there, fans of the podcast, or people who don't like this podcast, they just like the guests. I'm here to tell you about Tire Streets. Tire Streets sells all kinds of tires, mud terrain. You know, your grandma needs some tires for her hybrid. They got you, and we got you 15% off on all of those. Goodest 15. But if you want to save money on the hot shit, on the fucking best drift tires on the planet, or probably universe, I'm going to give you some out of this world savings. 20% off. Goodest 651 will get you 20% off Accelera 651s. They're out of this universe planet Tire Streets. Okay. Should just get real awkward right now. Yeah, two fists away from the mic.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm stressed.
Well, while we're recording, you don't want to do it? Okay. Should we open the sake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is wow.
It's fancy.
If you come visit Benson and Nadine, they will bring you really nice stuff. Always. Well, they have nice stuff for you. Look at this. It's a twist off though. How fancy can I get? I'm just throwing garbage on the floor in here. Can you see it?
Palmer.
Oh my god.
Sake's in the shot. I'm leaving all this in.
Oh, did we start already?
I'm not editing anything.
Dude, I love
I'm just gonna make you guys suffer. 'Cause I know you guys, now that I've done your podcast, I know like
man, that's the beauty of your podcast though. My favorite thing is like almost every interview, everyone's like, did we start already?
Yeah, because I just set it up and hit record and then sit down and then,
Thank you, sir.
you know. Gonna pour one up
Ooh,
for my friends here.
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, you guys provided it, so that's the least I can do.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't test it.
Don't forget Laura.
before, you know.
Yeah. I gotta
Our
hook
producer.
up. I gotta hook up the producer.
Yep.
Yeah. She's in the producer chair. You
Yeah.
should probably bring it to her. No.
Yeah. There you go. Well, cheers. Thanks for having me back in your
Cheers.
studio.
Come by.
Yes.
Thank you. Cheers to Goodest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to Slady Mania.
Mm.
Slady.
Slatey. This is nice.
This is nice. Ooh, I shouldn't drink so much.
It's okay.
Mm.
It's Saturday.
It is. Okay.
Well,
So what's up?
you guys had me on your podcast. And I've been wanting to have both of you on mine for a long time. You did my 4th episode, but the 3rd one to ever be released because one of them never got released. And don't ask me about it because I won't tell you, and I'm not putting it out.
How many have you not put out?
Only one.
Just the one.
Yeah. I like severe technical difficulties
Well, now you're telling us.
and
Why.
other reasons. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say anything. Am I being interviewed? This is not how this is supposed to go.
Hey,
And guess what? This is all about.
this is gonna be your
Palmer.
worst interview
Oh,
ever.
no.
This is your profile right here. We're gonna get.
I was
deep.
born. It was scary.
How many episodes have you had so far?
I think this will be like the numbers are off because I started on episode 4 because
Yeah.
it's like a dumb Star Wars
Because you're a
joke.
nerd, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had you as episode 6 because I was like Benson will get the Star Wars joke.
I didn't get it.
Okay, well I tried. And yeah, so I think depending on the order that I release this one, we're like into the 50s.
Oh
That's
my
a lot.
gosh.
That's a good track record. Only
Yeah.
messing up one over.
Yeah, doing
50,
it,
that's pretty
doing
good.
it myself.
Yeah, dude.
Production
Such
company
a
of
vet.
1.
You're a vet right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's easier because I can just like be spontaneous. I'm
Yeah.
not very like calculated.
Yeah.
I'm not good at like planning.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just have like a case and I can just show up and like everything's in there and I
Yeah.
set it up and do it, or just get on a video call with somebody and record it and then fix all the fuck ups later and
Yeah.
editing.
Like we
That-
do.
Yeah.
And just get yelled at by everybody. Like, this sounds bad. I'm like, I know.
No one's yelling at you.
No.
They are. The internet's mad.
That's the charm. That's why I love your podcast, because it's so like just chill. It's casual. Like it's not.
You never know what you're
over-
gonna get.
Dude, that's the best part. It's
Yeah.
like,
No, but it's better like because you're not counting down. You're like, okay, guys, we're recording.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then you
3, 2,
freeze up.
1,
You're like, oh, okay,
intro,
we're starting.
and wait, I gotta start over. Let me do that again.
Yeah.
That's
There's
like
no
the
intro
worst.
because like if when you're sitting there like waiting for the intro to start, you're just like what face do I make? You know?
Yeah.
Like-
Wait, that didn't come out right. Wait, edit.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. So like it's
Yeah.
easier to just jump in and then like
Yep.
do a little intro later.
I
and
like it.
the nice part about doing the intro later is you can like talk about stuff that you talked about on
Yeah.
the podcast and like reference it.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's just
I like
easier
that.
way.
That's standard. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. You guys' podcast is just absolutely the best production thing I've ever been a part of.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, you guys definitely put the time in.
Yeah.
It's
But
all Benson and Mark. I
it's
just
like-
show up.
It sometimes it feels too calculated, you know?
Yeah, but I mean like that's like the formula. Like I don't know. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of your podcast because of who you have on. You're very like selective about how they've like affected drifting for you personally and like as a community, and
Yeah.
that's really cool because I'm not part of that generation. I was the kid trying to find these websites and didn't.
What year were you born?
89.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys were born the same year. You and my car.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
crazy.
I'm not gonna ask what year you guys were born. We guys maybe like 85.
We're also ending in a 9.
Okay, so just like 1 decade older.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys got to live like the unknown, uncharted, like
Yeah.
origin
We
early
were
days.
we didn't know what we didn't know. It was like super. I look back, I'm like, how are we even learning anything? We're like,
We're figuring it out.
yeah.
But that's what made it cool. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten into something that was new, and well, it's different these days because of the like the internet, social media, and stuff. So like things spread faster, right?
Yeah.
But like then there wasn't. So you could like be really into drifting, and no one knew about drifting, and you could be into drifting for years, and like it would just never, like, people wouldn't figure it out.
I thought it was really cool. I was like probably 12 or 13 when I was Googling
Oh my
drifting
God.
stuff, and like that was like 2002, 2003.
That's still early.
But I didn't have like friends that gave a shit about it. Like
Yeah.
there was no, like, I just thought it was cool and it was a thing and it's out there, and I was like, I don't know, it looks fun. You know, I
Yeah.
can't wait to do it in real life. And like Gran Turismo had like a couple drift cars in it at the
Which
time.
Gran Turismo? What?
3.
3? Okay. Oh yeah, that's the one with the, like, they had the Nomuken's R34, and they
I
had.
think that was 4.
Was that 4?
That was 4.
What?
3
in
was
3?
3 just had like Sylvia's and
Okay.
stuff like that. But I
The
remember
Sil 80 was
I-
in 2.
so the reason I have a keys steering wheel is because of Gran Turismo 4 had Nomuken's car,
Yeah.
and it had a keys wheel in it.
Okay.
And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And so like later on when
You had to get one.
had to get
I
one,
like that.
yeah.
But like it's different. I think a lot of people here, they just get like a Nardi, or
Yeah.
keys is dope.
How many
Yeah.
cars did you have in your Gran Turismo garage?
I don't know. I built some weird stuff.
I was always bummed that, because 4 was the first one where they had the D1 cars in it,
Yeah,
right? And they
yeah.
like they recognized drift cars. I
Mhm.
thought that was dope.
And they had like drift modes and stuff, but that was like
But
that was like when I got
they
a
were
little
not
older.
good at drift.
No.
It was so bad.
No,
So I was so bummed about that.
And on the controller, you'd have to like flick
Yeah,
left
yeah,
and right
yeah,
super
yeah.
hard to keep it drifting.
Yeah,
Me
yeah,
and my
yeah.
friends used to do these like online drifting challenges
hmm
and like try and get like the highest point scores. And like a couple of them, we were like starting to get up there.
Yeah.
And so we were like battling at my friend's house like constantly to who could get the highest score. But it didn't teach you anything about actually drifting.
Yeah.
Like it was just, you'd watch the replay and the steering, the
Yeah.
flicking
yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just not, it's not right, you know?
I know.
I learned how to clutch kick on Live for Speed, which is like that really old driving simulator game
hmm
that's been around forever, and like the cars are like super poly,
Yeah.
like low
Yeah.
resolution and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
It's
So
not-
I've been around, but not, you know. You guys, okay. The coolest thing was your Forsberg like interview when you guys were talking about how, well, actually you brought it up a couple times on your podcast, how the signal cars were so good, and when they came to the US, everybody's like, what did they do to them?
Yeah.
Like people were trying to like take pictures and
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
like figure out like setup and
Yeah.
things that they did to make the cars drive so well, because they were just, the information did not exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah, my friend. So they showed up. Signal showed up in Hawaii before they came to the mainland, and then they did that like groundbreaking event over there at Hawaii Raceway Park.
Mhm.
But so my friend Wendell, shout out to Wendell. He worked at Hypersports, who helped like facilitate that stuff, and so they garaged the cars there when they showed up, and like he was my inside track on that stuff, and he was like taking all these pictures, and he would like
No way.
measure things.
No way. You're like, what's
Yeah,
you're
he's like, oh, I think they're doing this to the caster and this. And I was like, my mind was blown, right? Because like
you didn't change any of that stuff.
yeah, no. So like we didn't know anything. So it was all like, and they weren't telling us. They were like, oh, you should do this, you should do that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you just got to find it out.
They're like, no, we're gonna be the only ones that are good at this.
Yeah.
Like, we're not sharing none of this.
Yeah,
with
I
you
don't know.
guys.
I don't really know what it was, but yeah, they definitely didn't just hand it to us.
No. They're like, we'll build you a car
Yeah.
for the right price. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay. You're like,
And then
ways away from that.
And then you had like, for steering mods, we would do, just the tie rod spacers, right?
Yeah.
And then some of the early guys, they would watch people like cut and weld knuckles,
Mm-hmm.
but like the Japanese didn't tell us like how to
how to
do
do
it.
that. So people
So
are just chopping them
some
and
like
shortening
ghetto
it.
people would just be like, "Oh, check it out," and they would show me like their knuckles. It's all welded and stuff, and the car would drive
So
terrible.
terrible because the Ackerman's all messed
Yeah,
up.
it's all messed
Yeah.
up. Like there's actual science behind it, and
Yeah.
but yeah, like we were just trying things.
Yeah, the first knuckles I put on my S13 were like some random cut and welds,
Yeah.
like hand me downs, and they were so garbage. Like it was my daily, and I'd drive my car to work at Best Buy, and like
dude.
if I turned the wheel too much reversing, it would over center and lock, and I had to get the like factory jack out of the trunk
What
and
the heck?
lift my car up.
In
Oh my
reverse,
God.
going
Yeah,
like
so if
3
I
miles per
reversed,
hour.
it would pop the wheels
Oh
over
my
center.
God.
And I didn't know what over centering was.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything. Like maybe I should limit the steering, you
Yeah.
know, so anything. I didn't know what I was doing.
That's dope.
Yeah. It was the early days are fun because you get to like learn.
Yeah. But everything
you have to really want to do it.
You'd have to really want to do it because everything would take longer, right? For
Yeah.
you to improve to a certain point, it would take like years or a year, right? And
Yeah.
then that's like that doesn't exist anymore. Like you could, with all the information and people willing to help, like it's so much faster.
I have some questions for Nadine because I know like a bit of your like origin story, but I don't know how did you find drifting and like S chassis? Like what's that like origin story?
My uncle, or I don't know, he's some distant family member, sold me my S13, this one.
The one we're sitting in front
Yeah. For like $500 because I just got my license. And he's like, here, it's no good, but
of.
I know you need a car. So here, just take it. But it's no good. So you're probably gonna have to get another car soon. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll buy a Civic soon. I'll just sell
Yeah.
it, get a Civic. And then I would go to Little Tokyo here in LA and go to Kinokuniya and look at like J-pop CDs. And I would
Mhm.
buy J-pop CDs. And then I was looking at magazines. And then I'm like, what the hell? Is
This
that
is my car.
my car on the cover? And then I found option 2. And then I bought the mag. I brought it home. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what year is this?
What? This is 97, 98,
Wow.
around that time. And I'm like, what the what? What is a 180 SX? So I
Yeah,
knew
sick.
nothing. I knew nothing. So I just brought that home and try to read every page because I was learning Japanese at the time. So
Yeah.
I'm like trying to read, and then I'm like, oh, I got a gem. So forget the Civic. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
this car. And
Was it manual?
No, it was auto and purple bubbly tint all over the
Oh
windows.
yeah.
And I mean, it was rough.
When
It
I
was
met
rough.
her, she had like this
Oh, damn.
she changed out the shift knob. So
Yeah.
she put like a manual shift knob on
On
it.
the
So
auto?
like you couldn't
You
tell it was
can't tell it's
auto.
auto.
And
And
then
then you push it down to like,
yeah,
like,
and then like she's like, check this out, Benson. She had this little switch
Yeah.
and she flipped the switch and it just turned on overdrive. She's like, check this out.
Yeah,
And
then it sounded like
you had to wire in,
downshifting,
you had to,
you know?
you had to wire in the overdrive button.
Yeah.
yeah.
No. I ripped it off because like I think I took it off the shifter, ripped it off, and just
Mhm.
left it loose somewhere, and then it just it was really bad.
And then
This
get
is
this
really bad.
right. And then
This
get
is-
this right, because she had a muffler on it, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
this is not nice.
Yeah, no, this
You're
is
not nice.
No, keep
no,
going.
this is your
great.
origin
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she had an Apex N1 on there, right? And so it sounds bad when you have a muffler and this auto, it doesn't really shift.
Mhm.
And then so she would drive it like in manual mode, and she would like make it shift hard, so it sounded like she was shifting a manual car.
Yeah.
So she didn't want the haters to know, you
No.
know.
Yeah, you
No.
don't. You never want the haters knowing it's automatic.
and it's hilarious because I knew how to drive stick. That's how I learned how to drive. Like my mom taught me how to drive in her truck. I knew how to drive stick,
What kind of truck?
but like it was is that okay? Audio.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
someone's like pressure washing or something. It's fine. It's
Sorry.
the Goodest cast. It'll be fine.
Yeah, she had like a Mazda B2200, some
Dope.
beige truck,
That's sick.
And like that's how I learned how to drive, and there was no power steering. And like I learned, so I legit knew how to drive stick, but like someone gave me like I bought the car that way, and so I was like, oh man, I gotta change this. But so I eventually swapped it like in 02 when I got my SR. Then everything went to manual.
Oh,
but,
sick. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
But
had the car
yeah.
for like 5 years before you went SR and manual?
Yeah. I even went to Pomona drag strip and like drag race the car
No
automatic.
way.
What was your time? What was your time though?
17.9.
Dope.
Hey,
Damn.
don't hate.
Wait, in
Like,
Gran Turismo, remember the
Watch
drag
out,
racing
Civics.
mode?
Yeah.
I think that's what a stock one did, right?
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. So you did it as fast as it
You did a good job.
As
possibly can
fast
handle.
as I could. I had a really good reaction time. It was just, it was automatic and it was a 240. So it was obviously not a drag race car. But I was building it, looking at option 2, and I was like, I gotta figure this out. And then I joined SoCal240SX.org, which is like the owners club in Southern California. And it was big. And we were on like Yahoo groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started going to meets in 2000. And so I brought my car. And by that time, I had
Just
managed
2000,
to get,
really? I thought it was earlier.
maybe 99.
When did
but
you guys meet?
2000.
In 2000.
That
So
was a
like
good
when I
year.
joined,
Yeah.
it was not, you were not there that much longer than me.
No, we were both kind of new. But at that
It
time,
didn't seem like it from what people were saying.
I already had Koki taillights. Like I had found a way to import
Whoa.
Koki taillights.
How did you make that happen?
Dude, the dealership I would go to, I was like, dude, you gotta like help me. Like, and I showed him the magazine because I was examining the
Yeah, yeah.
magazines. He's like, you know what? I heard this other dealer try to order parts from Japan. Let me get the part number. I found the microfiche like for the 180. Let me try to like order it.
No way.
And so he's like, but you're gonna have to pay like, I paid his price, but I was like the guinea pig.
Yeah.
And then so we imported it and it came with no wiring, no center garnish.
Oh,
It was
damn.
like literally just the taillights, no wire, not anything. And so I was like, okay, can you get the rest? And so I like hardwired the taillights to make it work. And I was driving around with no center garnish because like
Yeah.
I wanted them on my car. So like there was just this like middle thing.
You don't want to wait another
No,
like
and
5
then-
months to get it.
And then the bottom, I think, didn't fit either. Like
Yeah.
the bottom
You just shoved it
garnish.
in.
So like I just
Like how many
didn't
people
have it
had
on.
Kogi tails in
Me
the
and
US?
J-Spec Sam. That was it.
What
Yeah.
about Mike Liao? He had some pretty early.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Oh, bird. But I saw Sam on the
Damn,
freeway.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry.
I don't know who you are either, but
but yeah, I had seen Sam on the freeway, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
tails.
the black one.
I don't remember what color, but
It didn't matter. It just had Koki
it had
taillights.
Koki tails, and I was like so heartbroken.
That car was sick.
But yeah, I started going to SoCal240SX.org meets. And then it was my first meet, and I wanted to like caravan with somebody.
mm-hmm.
And Benson was.
Shut up. That was your first meet?
I think that was my first meet. And
This
I
is
it was
news
wanted.
to me.
it was your first meet and your guys' first meet.
That's right.
It was because I needed someone to caravan with me that was in West Covina. And this guy's like, I'm in West Covina. You want to go together? And so I met him.
Damn.
I
I
thought
met
you
him
knew
up.
everybody
Game.
already.
Everyone knew me from the groups.
Yeah.
Because I was.
All the dudes were like, "Oh, Nadine, she's like this hot girl with the S13," and I was
That's
like,
just
"Oh,
like-
great! Like I'm late to the party. Like I don't,
I
like
did
everyone
not-
knows
they
her
didn't-
already.
They didn't know me. It was just in the groups.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
was
know.
Papa 180SXE. XXY.
That was your
That was it.
username.
Papa 180SXXY.
You're
that
just
was it.
You're just punching dicks away.
Like this. Excuse me. No, but I caravan with Benson, and I really liked his car, and I really liked him, and I was like, oh, okay. And
Yeah, I don't
so
blame you. He's a catch.
He was. You know what was really dope about Benson? I mean, it's still dope that he's such a gentleman, right? Because like you meet
It was
a lot
not my
of guys,
hot
like
car.
no, that helped. That helped because I knew of him already because I had seen him around in West Covina. I'm like, oh, there's that Slady guy. And then I went with him, and then I realized like so many guys are so desperate, and they just kind of disrespect you or kind of treat you different. But Benson
They're
was
trying
like,
to hit you with that red pill shit.
yes, yes, girl, let me take you out. And so Benson was always like so nice to me and so respectful that I never flirted back to a point where I thought he was gay.
Whoa.
And I was like, does he even like girls? Because he's so nice to a point where I'm just like, hey, hit on me because I like you, and he
Yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah. So that's how
I don't know. I was flirting with you, but I just wasn't, like too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was intriguing.
He's got that subtle game.
That's right.
He did.
That
Less
low-key-
is more. The
Yeah.
less is more game. Yeah, but we got together pretty quick, I think. 'Cause I didn't want to wait.
Did you?
Any
Was this
longer.
before or after you cut your springs in half?
Oh, years after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was like right away.
97, 98.
97,
I'm
you
like,
chop your springs in
I'm
half?
like rolling like that. Yeah. But I mean, I had to replace them and get the real springs, like the iBox and stuff.
Nice.
So
That
I
was
did
like
that.
that's probably one of my favorite stories from the Salady Mania podcast is when you make people tell the like dumbest thing they did to a car, and like it gets referenced all the time.
Yeah,
That's my favorite
she's the
callback.
champion of all of that.
That's my favorite
come
callback.
on.
Well, how much did you cut your iBox?
Half.
You cut those in half.
No. Oh, iBox like a quarter.
Okay.
It was a quarter.
All right, so you cut lowering springs.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's the dumbest thing you've done?
Oh God.
Yeah, let's turn these tables.
Yeah.
I had a sticker bomb trunk lid on my 13. That was pretty cringy.
Cringy now, right?
One time I was having like steering rubbing issues on my S13, and so instead of hammering out my wheel wells, I cut a square.
You just straight cut it
like,
out
with like an angle grinder. Just cut like a section.
Yeah.
Out. Didn't help at all. All it did was slice the tire.
Yeah, dude. Nice.
that angle right
Yeah,
there.
like just cut a hole out. So
Yeah,
there's just sharp metal on four sides where it was rubbing.
That's good.
I've done some other dumb stuff too.
But it let you see like the tire cuts in the tires, right? Because if the hole wasn't there, you couldn't see that.
Yeah, no, it was like I needed it. It was nice because I could see my suspension.
Yeah.
Now
That was kind of dope. You should have put a camera in there, dude.
It was still street car.
Yeah.
It was.
What else did you do? What else?
Let me think. I'll get back to you on that. I don't know how many dumb things I want to put out in the world.
I want to know like what's the most recent dumb thing that you've done? Maybe the fuel cap.
Oh. Yeah.
That's not really but that's not like a mod. That's just a.
Yeah, I put a fuel cap on that the seal was bad and it was leaking the 85 everywhere and my car caught on fire. Did it burn to the ground? No. Could it have? Yes. If some dude with a GT3 didn't have the dopest fire extinguisher on the face of the earth.
You have flames on the outside of your car, right?
Yeah. My car's always had livery's always had. Well, right now my livery doesn't have like flames, but it has like hot stuff. It looks like lava, I guess would be like the best.
Lava. Okay.
Like red and yellow like texture.
I don't know. I always thought it was flames.
I definitely had flames on my car. Well, I have like, yeah, right now it's just like patterns.
Is it flame-ish?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's dope if you have like flame livery and then the car's on fire. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That car's fire.
Yeah,
Literally.
my car is definitely, it's been fire this year for sure. I've done some dumb stuff. Yeah, I don't know, driving ABS with a brand new painted bumper with like clear coat that Aaron did for me.
Oh, dude.
And then blown off the track.
How many laps did it take?
Also that door that I just like redid with all my like livery. First event, second lap out, got torpedoed into. So I don't know. We're out there playing bumper cars sometimes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's part of it.
It's too bad it's not like, I don't think you were old enough, but for me and Benson's era, we had the Hot Wheels where you crash into the door and it would flip, where the door would all of a sudden look crashed. And then, what are they called?
I don't know what they were called.
Oh,
but those are
they
dope.
Were Hot Wheels, right?
And then you just flip it back and then it's perfect again.
That'd be kind of cool if the drift cars did that, where when you go drive, you just flip it.
Yeah, but then both sides of Palmer's door would be crashed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy one for you.
Yeah,
it's a really cool like. I think it was Hot Wheels, right?
Yeah, I just need to own a E36 door junkyard.
Yeah, dude.
Stored. I have like 10 of them.
I have a lot of crushed
paintless
dent repair, dude.
Yeah. Fucking paintless dent repair shows up there like, what am I gonna do with this? It's like Rust-Oleum spray painted red and like livery on top. Like, what do I
maybe you need crash livery. Just
Oh,
like
just like fake, like
yeah, just like it looks crashed.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, it's supposed to look like that.
Yeah, like those like custom airbrush cars where it like looks like the doors like peeling off.
Yeah.
No, I hate you guys.
Talk to
Tire
Aaron.
marks.
Aaron will hook
Tire
you up.
marks in your
Aaron
Yeah,
will
livery.
hook you up.
airbrush tire marks
Yeah.
on the door.
Oh, Aaron, like doing some sick airbrush tire marks.
Yeah, he already does the real kind.
Yeah.
I'll just have him do those.
Well, it's kind of like a target, right? Like
Yeah.
this is where you do it.
Yeah,
Right? You do it and then
But yeah,
when you
like
do
only
it-
here, like only right on top of my current tire marks. That's it.
when am I gonna get to put tire marks on your guys'
I don't
cars?
know.
Can you not?
I heard,
Not our S13s.
yeah.
The
And probably, I don't
Z?
want to. The Z is nice too. You guys have just nice cars.
That's because we don't drive hard enough.
Oh man.
We don't. Well, the Z. See, if we had two Zs, which I want, then I think they would be more crash because then we would just crash into each other all the time. So
I
it'd be
love that.
good.
I'm team you guys getting two Z's
But
and
like,
crashing
but
into
that's
each
the
other.
problem is that would be kind of hurt because like I want a 370 and then that would be really sad.
Ah, those are
if-
cheap now.
That'd be really sad if my 370 got hit.
Gotta get
Yeah,
over it.
That's okay.
Just do it.
I know. Better that than this.
For sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you guys just went drifting recently?
I did.
He did.
Yeah.
I had to shake down the car to see like, what was up with the car, and it's hard peeling this one away from work. So, but I did.
That's
yeah,
not
I went out.
surprising.
It's
You-
not surprising because she does
you have
so
like
much.
5 businesses.
Yeah, dude.
Can you move the mic like a little closer and you'll be good?
Like this, babe.
Too bad.
Okay.
You don't have to do it. We don't need that. We don't need the people who watch this screenshotting that.
Yeah. See, my hands are.
Yeah.
There we go.
2 fists is how far you whatever. Is how far you want the mic from your mouth.
You could say shaka. It's
Yeah. That's
Oh
more,
yeah, that works too.
more PG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
I mean, do you?
Not shocker.
Fuck.
Do you guys miss that era of
Just
cars?
never-
I do not miss that era of cars.
Oh my god.
That was that sticker bomb era?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sticker bomb,
My, like, the
illest.
Trunk with okay, so what happened was I was trying to paint my own trunk lid that I got at like Pick and Pull, and I like was there working on it all night, painting it in the garage
Yeah.
with the door closed. And I was like super high off paint fumes, no
Yeah.
mask, no anything. And like I was like just finished the clear coat and like a bug landed on it.
Oh no!
And I went to like pick the bug off of it
God. Oh,
and like
God.
swiped all the paint off. And then I had like a meltdown.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm sticker bombing my regular
Oh
trunk.
no!
Damn.
So
You should talk about what you just named Benson's Infinity.
what I
you
named
called
it?
it.
Oh,
I really like that. That was really
I
good.
can't remember what I called it. Oh, fuckboy cars?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of them are cool.
I've never heard that term till today.
Why?
Fuckboy car.
I
Well, you've heard the term
know.
fuckboy?
Yeah, hell
But you
yeah.
can just put fuckboy in front of
On
anything. You'd be
anything.
like fuckboy shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuckboy dinner. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Fuckboy.
No, I don't think it works for everything.
There's fuckboy cars.
Well, apparently Benson's driving a fuckboy car. Kind of,
I like them.
it's cute.
I like
like 'em.
mine.
I like.
Yeah,
them.
yours is
I
sick.
don't really see others on the street where I'm like, damn, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, there's I don't know, VQ gang, you know?
Yeah.
Play the song of your people. Luckily it's you don't have the trumpets.
I don't. I won't own a
Damn,
trumpet car.
damn.
Yeah.
All of our VQs sound good.
Yep. Well, that's good.
Trumpets.
Okay. So we kind of got into your origin story. Nadine. I'm curious. I know like Benson's FD experience was the first season of FD ever,
Mhm, mhm.
and like not having a truck and trailer. It was like his it was your daily, right?
Yeah, dude.
It was your daily S13 that
Yeah.
I drove it to Irwindale for the Irwindale round. Just on the street, just drove it there.
you. Yeah. Well, luckily you're not that far from Irwindale.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
Yeah.
you drove it all over. It was your only car,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like for Atlanta, you just like put it on a hauler that they
Yeah.
like organized or something,
Yeah.
because that's what FD was at the time. It was like a bunch of people's like street cars and then
I would say, like,
full blown race cars.
I would say like not everyone's was their daily their dailies or their street cars.
Yeah.
There were not that many because I remember it was kind of lame. Like I think it was Road and Track. They wanted to do a drifting article, and they wanted to like compare, have like a full blown race car, and then like a mildly tuned race car, and then like a street car.
Yeah.
And mine was the street car.
Yeah.
So I think the majority of people, like, their cars were like prepped for Formula D. Mine was not really.
Yours was
stock
prepped.
SR.
Yours was prepped for the mountains.
Yeah, yeah, serious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what? And so he did the first season of FD, and then you did the second season.
I did the second season, and that was crazy because I said I didn't want to do it by myself, but I was really happy that Yoshie did it, and then I got one of the other drifting pretty girls to do it, Amanda. So together we're kind of rolling, and yeah, we did the same thing that Benson did, where FD kind of arranged the transport through.
Was your
Reliable,
car your street car at the time?
It was my street car, and then we got the green S13, didn't we?
yeah,
I'm trying to remember, but it was transitioning. Like, I think at that point I was like, and you know what? I was getting it tuned for FD, and some guy like hit me on the street. And then that was kind of a wake up call to me. And I was just like, dude, I just painted my car. I'm trying to tune my car and get it ready for FD. I can't be driving this around. So I think like we had that epiphany around that time. And so we actually bought an S13, like a stock one, just to have as like a daily and an extra. So, but it was transitioning. But yeah, it was pretty much a street car still. And
yeah, like full interior.
Oh yeah. Even when I drove FD, I wanted full interior. Like I wanted my cake and eat it too, because I love car shows.
Yeah.
So I was like, with this FD car, I'm gonna win a car show and I'm gonna drive FD. And so I did it.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
cool.
season, like I did FD, and I also went to the Nisei Week Little Tokyo import show off, won the Nissan class in my like Formula D car that
Sick.
had, I think at that time I had already gotten a crash, and so I think one of my headlights had like strawberry tape all over it because it was crashed, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was bad. But
how did you win?
how dare you? Because my car is the bomb.
You didn't have any audio.
No, I made up for it. I had beautiful gauges. I had a really nice display. I had this like big poster that showed the life of my car from it when it was gray with a GTR wing. It's in like, then we painted it and we made it red, and like we had the new livery.
You do this with everything, huh?
yes. You gotta go
like your
big.
book that you're putting out, you have like all the stuff to go with it,
dude.
and like all these like,
But I didn't bring mirrors or anything like that.
For under the car?
For under the car. No, I didn't do that.
Not lowrider spec?
I talked to the judges, and I was like,
okay.
This is a race car and whatever. So
you sweet talk the judges?
No, I explained everything, and I'm like, this is a race car. I just drove Formula Drift, and
they're
all
like,
that
okay,
stuff.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
We'll give you this one.
Yeah, so I did get it. And it was funny because all these years I thought I got second, and I was doing laundry the other day, and I was like, oh shit, I did get first. Sweet. So
why were you did you just have like a flashback while you're doing laundry, or or was your trophy in the laundry?
The trophy is our laundry's in the garage, and so you look up on this like shelf in the garage, and all my trophies are there.
Oh,
so
nice.
I look
all
and
my
I'm
trophies. She's got a lot of trophies. She's not exaggerating when she says all my trophies.
Are they for like, what are they for? Car shit only, or
drifting, and car show?
T-ball.
No, that's it. It's just car
cool.
stuff. My car is an award-winning car.
Yeah.
A one import show off. That was fun. Benson's trophy's up there too.
I have like
His
two trophies. I have like two or three.
I think you have one.
I just won a competition. They didn't have trophies.
Damn.
Oh man,
that's happened to me like a few times.
Come on, guys. Trophies like $10.
I'm just gonna get like a fake one.
Yeah,
dude. Put your own stuff on there.
Is that really like? Is that conceited to order a trophy for an event?
No, you have to document it.
Yeah, it's a keepsake. It's like, I did this.
Yeah, Benson has 2 trophies.
I think we're gonna have to throw a competition with trophies now.
You have the dopest trophy, which is in pieces right now. His when he won drift show off.
So sad.
Yeah,
and it's like taller than I am. But that broke. It's all over the garage and stuff. But the tiniest trophy on the shelf is his from RSR.
Yeah, RSR
And it's
Chicago.
the dopest trophy because he actually won money. And like I feel like that's, and it was in Chicago, is
Yeah.
that right? So like I feel like that's the most special win.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like that's a legit win. Like
Did you get one of those big fake checks?
Yeah, I think you did.
I don't remember if I got a fake check.
You got a fake back for import show off. You
The
did.
reason why that one was the best one is because like Nadine and I had been dating for a while. I was like, I want to propose to her, but like I don't have like I was working like this crap job at overboost.com and like I was making like minimum wage or something. I was like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna save up enough money to like, buy a ring, right? And all the money we were spending on our cars too, cars and food and stuff. And so I won that one. I got money. And I was like, I'm going to use this money to buy the ring. So like, that's one reason why that one was the best trophy. And then
that's so cool.
And then second was like I was on the podium with Ken Gushi and Dai Yoshiara, like my good friends. So like, that was really dope too.
That was really sweet.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's such a good win.
That was a good win.
So Dai and Ken were below you on the podium?
No, I was second. No. I was in the middle.
Okay.
I was in the middle.
Yeah. So even though it's the ugliest trophy on the rack, it's the best trophy. Like I respect that trophy a lot. Like I love that trophy. Yeah.
That's my favorite one, I think.
Yeah. My trophies are just like, I think car shows and the rest were like just small drifting competitions and stuff. And
you got a trophy at Drift Show Off.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
How did they like approach you to do FD? Did they approach both of you guys and you had to pick? Or did you get approached separately? Like
I'm trying to remember.
They didn't approach us. It was just kind of like, if you want to do it, these are the things you have to do.
I think they encouraged. They kept asking me when it was his season, like, "Are you gonna drive?"
Did you go to all the rounds with him?
Yeah. So I was with him the whole time, which was great because it was good mental for me. Then I can kind of like preview it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, I will next season." And it was really hard in our relationship for both of us. It would be difficult for both of us to be driving it because we're like sharing the car and we're trying to, figure out the finances. And it's so stressful even just to figure out his ride, like just to pay for getting the car shipped.
I think like the mental game was the hardest thing.
Yes.
Because you have to like put your everything into every round. And like, and especially, like for a guy, it's one thing, right? Because they're all guys. Oh, sorry. They're all guys at the competition, right? But then for Nadine to do it, like there's a sea of men and then like 2 or 3 girls.
Right.
And everyone is watching the girls. Like they don't care what I do on the track. Yeah. It's like, but
Benson crashed, dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah. But like when she's out there, everyone's just like, oh, there's a girl drifter right there. Like
they're like, oh, she crashed, of course. Or
yeah.
That was like the worst feeling. And I think like, I don't know, Yoshie, like she's a diehard. And so I don't even know if that even phased her. But like for me and Amanda, we're like, everyone's watching us. This fucking sucks. And I just want to drive and have fun. But people keep coming up to us. And it's like, they're fans. But I think when the more fans you meet, then you get kind of like, you feel the pressure on your shoulders.
Absolutely.
And then, we get the money, we get the sponsors. But then it's like, dude, if we don't qualify, like this sucks. Cause like,
you're all the way out there.
Yeah.
You get no drive time.
No.
Yeah.
You're under all this like pressure, all these eyes.
Yeah. And I crashed. I had like a small crash the first event, which fucked me up. And then I'm like,
then you're shook for the rest of the season.
So then like I go to Chicago for the second round, and I'm like, don't crash, and I killed it, and it was great, and I did excellent. But it was just
all
like
walls everywhere.
And it's all fucking K rails, and I hate after I crashed at Sonoma, I was like, I hate K rails, and I developed this like complex now, about it. So then, of course, I go to Chicago. It's like the whole entire track is K-Rails. And then where you initiate, it's like right by the judge's booth. And it's all K-Rails. And I was like, damn, this is kind of narrow. And it was so fun.
What year was?
05.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 04. I'm 05. but in hindsight, like it was really
Probably
like
watched you guys on G4.
yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that channel. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, but I mean, it was a really great experience, but one I never wanted to do again. Like that was kind of like I did it and I'm like, I do not want to do this anymore. Like it took all the fun
Yeah.
out of it. And then I looked at my car and I'm like, dang, I did all this stuff to my poor street car that I still want to drive. And then
Yeah.
and all the pressure, it was just not worth it. So I was like, and I don't want to deal with the whole money game again because just knocking on all the doors, trying to get the money. I had an agent too, which was great. So she hooked me up. She got
Damn.
me my first endorsement of my career, which is like amazing. But I felt really bad for her because she was just like knocking on all these doors, trying to get me money just so we could like get the car there. Not even to cover our hotels. It was like
Yeah.
transport. So, but yeah, it was cool in hindsight. It was excellent experience, but like it just took the fun out of it. So I was like, all right, cool, peace, I'm out. So, but I ended the season great and I had fun and it's a really great memory, but I wouldn't do it again, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, check next, you know?
Did it like burn you out for like having fun with drifting for a while?
Yeah, for a while it did, but at the end of that year, Benson, his car was down for whatever reason, and then he borrowed my car and to compete. Where were we at? Were we at Lancaster at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it was
I
around
mean,
there.
that whole rest of the year after the season was over, we were doing exhibitions and stuff, and it was really
That
fun
was
because
fun.
I've never done exhibitions, and finally, like, and then I got to do SEMA, the proving grounds, and
Mhm.
like people would win prizes. I was the prize. Like you got to sit in my car, and I drive the proving grounds with people.
That was on
at
G4.
SEMA.
Oh, that's sick.
That was so fun. And I'm sorry. But then the last thing we did was we did a competition and Benson he got to do he was doing tandem in my car at a drifting competition.
They wouldn't let me drive because I didn't have the right roll cage.
Mm.
Oh, that's what it was.
And so Nadine let me
Yeah.
borrow her car. And so I was doing
Yeah, you
really-
didn't have a cage doing FD the first season.
No, so I think I took it out because I had
Oh, you're like a bolt-in.
yeah, like I forgot the name of that brand, but I hated that brand.
Auto Power?
Yeah, it was Auto Power. So like Auto Power, it works really well. It's nice because it's like cheap and you can bolt it in. But like I hated the way that it would like the way it
It's
sits.
like this far
Yeah,
from the roof.
there's
It
huge
doesn't,
gaps
like,
between the
yeah.
A pillar and the
Yeah.
B pillar. I just like I didn't like it, So like I took it out after FD, and then so we were at this competition, and they never told us we needed a roll cage. But then when we got there, they're like, "Yeah, you need a roll cage." So Nadine let me borrow her car, and I was doing really well. Like for it not being my car, I was doing really well. And then I got to, I don't remember if it was like top 4 or something, but I was up against Calvin Wan in his FD, and like I was chasing him pretty good. And then he spun at this weird spot that I didn't expect him to spin at, and I just like I hit him in the door, like right into the door, and then kind of like busted her intercooler. Kind of, I think it pushed. Did it push the?
Yeah, my frame was fucked
core
up.
support?
And
Yeah, a
everything
little
was
bit,
all
so-
fucked.
I was like, oh man. So that was the end of that.
Yeah, so that's how my car went out that year. But it was
But
like
I think you were telling, like, I kept saying, like, I
Yeah.
don't want to crash your car, like, I didn't want to be responsible if anything happened. She's like, don't worry, just go. I want to paint it anyway. So
Yeah.
she was like really supportive. I was just
Oh,
like,
that's
okay.
cool.
Yeah, because the pink plan was in place.
Yeah.
And so it was like the last hurrah anyway. So I was
Yeah.
like, it's okay. It's going to happen anyway. But I just didn't expect it to happen that day. So that's how it went out. And then the car was down and we got it like redone. And then that next year we got married. And I finished my car for our wedding and we got married in September. And both our cars were at our wedding. And John Wong was the second shooter for the wedding photographer. So he shot our cars for Super Street at our wedding.
Oh, that's
Well, we
sick.
didn't expect that.
We
'cause,
didn't know.
That's so
we didn't know
cool.
that
like
was gonna
he was
happen.
an editor at Super Street,
Mhm.
and like he was our guest, but then like his friend was the photographer, so he's like, well, yeah, like he asked if I would second shoot for him. I was like, are you sure? Like we want you to
Be
enjoy
a guest,
yourself.
yeah.
He's like, no, yeah, no worries. Like, I want to shoot. And then, so he did that. And then he didn't even tell us anything. And then, us and our cars were on the back spread of a super street from our wedding.
The happily
That's
ever
so
after,
cool.
whatever.
Yeah, that was dope.
so
That was a dope
nice.
surprise.
Yeah, I love that. So, and then we did another article with them a year or two after. I think a year after with John again, like our couples article. So we've done a couple of couples articles.
That was like a Valentine's themed thing.
Yeah, it was really
With, like
cute.
rose petals and shit.
yeah,
Benson's
you
like
know
laid out.
it. Because his car's red, mine's pink. It's like so
Yeah.
Valentine's.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, you guys definitely got to, like, I grew up going to the bookstore and like reading car magazines and just being like, oh my god, all this stuff
Yeah.
is so cool. And like now we don't really have that anymore.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
It's real sad. And like
I remember when they started showing drifting stuff in magazines, because for so long it was like underground, like kind of like street culture and stuff. And then all of a sudden they started, doing drifting articles and stuff. So like I remember when it started breaking into like publications and stuff, I would buy everything. If I found anything was drifting related in there, I bought it. Like
Yeah.
even if it was a weird like automobile magazine or whatever.
So
And
you
then-
have like an archive somewhere.
yeah,
I do, but
we
like
do.
now it's just everywhere. So at one point I just stopped, but I was
Yeah.
just like, oh,
They're
like,
like, I can't buy all these magazines.
yeah.
Well, anytime like we were in it too, like, oh, they said your name, let's buy it. Let's
Yeah.
buy 3. And like, yeah, so I think we have a really big collection of just the US mags. And then when the Japanese would come over and shoot for like Japanese magazines at US events, that was like
Yeah, that's the
Really dope.
coolest.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was cool. And so I got the cover of Carboy and I was like, this is the bomb. Like, cause I wanted to get
Yeah.
that was like, cause I'm the car show girl. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to get the cover. And they would never give me the cover in the United States, right?
Yeah.
But this one
That was
guy,
really dope.
and I don't even think I knew at the time if it was gonna be the cover, but like it was just like some little shoot in our front yard, and then it made it on the cover of like Carboy, and that was
That's a sick magazine. I got a
That's
couple. I
so
got a couple
cool.
of vintage Carboys
yes
in my closet.
We have
I'll
tons.
pull out and get some inspo sometimes.
Dude, me and Benson were talking about with our friend Steve. We're saying that we should open a library that has like all the Drift Tengokus and like
Oh
the
man.
battle version magazines and the
Yeah.
Carboys and the young versions, because we between like Benson and I and like our friend Steve, like we have so many issues of those magazines. Like
Yeah, I want to.
we should open it.
Yeah, I'd come by.
And like you
I need
can
to look
go.
at those battle magazines. Those are my favorite.
Those are the
Dude,
best.
Yeah.
And then we put like every month we put a car on a turntable like in the center of the library. There's a feature car.
Has anyone
and
ever
then,
told
like-
you you're an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, this is a paid library too. You got to
Yeah.
get a ticket to
Yeah,
go.
you
Not-
should-
Yeah.
You're scaling, Nadine. Always scaling.
No, but that was a really fun conversation that we had, because like it's just amazing how many issues of those mags we have at home and Steve has, and the option videos.
Mostly us.
and- You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then like I would collect the mags, he would collect the mags. This was before we got married, so like we married our collection. We're like,
Oof.
damn, we got all the
That's
magazines.
that's true love right there.
I had way more option 2 though, because option 2 was more like not just drifting, it was like car shows
Mhm.
and weird other kind of cars that
Yeah.
they do in Japan. So
All of it's good. I mean, that was the only way in
yeah.
for a long time, because like uploading stuff to the internet was hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't a lot of people doing it, so like the magazines were the easiest thing to like get and
Mhm.
consume.
And the tuning Bibles. Do you
Yeah.
remember those?
Mhm.
Like those were, so we would collect those.
Is there an E36 tuning Bible?
No.
Dang it. Serious?
Yeah.
Are they only Japanese cars?
Yeah.
I've
I
never
think so.
really paid
Well,
attention.
maybe not, but I've never seen one. I could be wrong.
Are they still doing those hyper revs?
I think so.
Yeah, they have them at the bookstore in Japantown in the city still,
Okay.
but that section's just getting smaller.
Yeah.
Well, ours doesn't even have it. Like we have a Japanese bookstore here in the mall and in
Mhm.
this city. They like don't even have any car magazines.
It's all like anime and
That's it.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Hentai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
gonna tell
no.
them. No.
There's no hentai there.
How do you guys know?
Benson check.
I don't know.
Apparently.
You walked right into that trap.
Hey, give me some more sake.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Start spilling it on the carpet. Really get this podcast going.
Mm-hmm. I'm good. You don't want me to have any more because
we're gonna hear all the crazy stories.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that happened to you guys in drifting in all these years?
Ooh. I have a good one.
Yes.
I have a really good one. And
Really? It came to you fast. I can't.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right.
It's about you, baby.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
let's hear yours.
Benson had his black Lady and we were driving. And like when we got together, what I loved was when Benson would drift in the public, we would go bust to you and he would just kick the clutch and
you're just like,
you
God
know?
damn, that's my man.
Yeah, yes. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so there was a
What a catch.
freeway on ramp, whatever. He
Mhm.
would drift those. And then there's one by our house. Oh God, it's 2 stories. Okay, I'm gonna tell you 2. And
Okay.
then one time we were going on the freeway and there's these cones. And he's like, I'm gonna hit the cone just for fun. It's those tall cones that are I think it's like this tall.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna tap it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And he hits the freaking cone. And
How
I'm
old
like,
are you guys at this time?
I don't know.
this is probably 2001. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
it was before
22, something
yeah,
like that.
it was And then he's like, oh shit.
I
that
did
was-
tap it though.
It was so hard because if you're on the freeway and you want to tap a cone, you're tapping it is hitting it
Yeah,
really
I didn't think
fucking
about that at
hard.
the time.
And so we got back and I looked and there's this fat ass dimple in the hood and the fender because he wanted to tap the cone. So that was one, and then the other was the freeway on ramp by our
Airing out my
house.
dirty laundry right now.
I'm sorry, it's so cute.
Okay, let's hear
And
your next
then-
one.
And then the freeway on ramp, he had never done this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's do
Oh,
it.
and I was like, I'm gonna do braking drift here. You remember that?
Well, why don't you tell the story?
Oh, go ahead.
You know which one I'm doing. It's Rosemead Boulevard entrance on the
Yeah.
10 freeway. Whatever. You tell the story.
I said I was gonna do braking drift on the street like an idiot. I don't know who does braking drift on a freeway on ramp, but I did. And I just did it wrong. And then I hopped the curb. I understeered and I hopped the curb. And we were on our way to a wedding or something, right? It was not good timing. I was
No.
like, we had to call and cancel. We're like, we're not gonna make it. I bent my tie rods and stuff. So
Yeah, so his tie rod's bent, but luckily we live not that far.
Yeah.
But it's just really
you couldn't share a story where I sound good.
well, no, but I
It's a
mean
crazy
these are the
story.
good
These are hilarious.
These are the cute. These are fun days.
These are early days.
I
I'm
have
not-
I have
I
a
wish
good
I had
one.
a time machine so I could go back and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, dude.
But we were I loved doing those things with Benson, and we would go to Toge, and Benson would run his car so hard and then pop his hood at the end and his turbo would be glowing orange.
Yeah.
And I was like,
sick.
dude, that's so hot. I love that. Show me that, we
Yeah.
just do silly things like that.
Pop your hood, Benson.
Yeah, seriously. It was
Show me
I
what
don't
you're
know.
working with under there.
yeah.
I have a good one from Toge.
Oh shit.
So,
Yes.
so we were driving Toge and we're doing our runs and stuff, and then by the time you're done, you're tired, right? Just because
Yeah.
there's so much focus and
Adrenaline.
adrenaline. And then, it was, I don't know, it was maybe 3:00 at night, and we're like, all right, let's head back home. And I was just chilling, driving back. We're still in Toge, but just the road back to the city. And just taking my time, relaxing. And then this I think it was an SUV was tailgating me. I'm like, bro, just I pulled off and he wouldn't pass me. I did it
Yeah.
multiple times, and then at that point when they don't pass you but they keep tailgating you, it pisses you off, right?
Yeah.
It's fine, forget it. And then I went for it all the way down, and I'd keep my eyes on on the rear view mirror, and I would see it kind of fishtail sometimes out of the corner trying to keep up with me. or like go in the dirt, but like he kept trying to keep up with me, and I eventually I just passed him. I smoked him, and then we got down to the end of the street where it's like residential, and there's a street light. So I stopped at the red. For whatever reason, there was a red, even though there was no other traffic. So we stopped, and then I was like, "Oh, here he is!" Right? So he pulls up next to me, and it was CHP. And I was like, "Oh crap, Nadine is CHP. Don't look at him." So we just like, kept our eyes straight, and then it turned green, and we left. He didn't bother us or anything.
He's like, "Damn, that guy's fast."
But I had no idea what his problem was,
Dude,
or why he was trying.
He didn't like give you the hat tip.
I didn't even look. I was too scared to
he's
look.
Probably like,
he's like, look at these idiots.
Yeah,
he's probably like, wow,
dude, it was crazy.
That dude can drive.
Yeah.
And this is like, I think this is even before we had drifting events. Like I probably this is like 2001.
Probably.
It's still 2001. I think the first drifting events were later in 2001, but like 2000, 2001, like those were the prime Toge days.
Yeah.
Right? We were just getting into all
before
sorts of
people knew what like initial D was, like before there was.
When did the initial D thing start?
I remember it was pretty vivid because when initial D started getting out, it was affecting Toge. Like people
were going up.
People would like look for winding roads, and they would show up
with no experience.
But they weren't like, they would kind of like, they would find out we were there, and they would kind of just show up and watch.
Oh, weird.
But they weren't like with us. They would kind of like stick off to their side, and it's like it was literally like rich kids, and like you can hear them blasting their initial D music.
So
we're up there, and so
weird. And a Mercedes,
and so we had like certain rules where we would follow to make sure we were all safe and make sure it was like good, like safe conditions to run. Rules? So like you show up at the top, and then when you're ready to run, you send a car to down the road to make sure it's clear, and then when you get to the bottom, you like radio back up. And you say, the road's clear. We're going to make sure there's no traffic coming. So that way we would make sure, like,
you're not going to hit anyone head on.
You're not going to hit anyone. Like,
that's very responsible.
Like, I wouldn't recommend this, but, like, that way we can double lane, like, all that, right? Like, treat it like a closed circuit. And, like, they weren't part of us, and they weren't trying to, like, socialize with us or anything. And sometimes they would just see what we were doing, and then they would just go. And, like, it was almost like 100% of the time they would wreck because they didn't know what they were doing.
Like just into a mountain.
And then first thing they would do, here's another
makes
rule.
The spot hot. And
first thing they do,
a lot of attention.
Call a tow truck, call 911.
Oh yeah, and then you're like,
then we're just like, okay, we got to get out of here, right? Like we never did that. If someone crashed.
Yeah. We left the car.
You leave the car. We call up a buddy and we go get it later.
You report it stolen.
Yeah, or you leave it, right? But like you don't blow up the spot.
Yeah.
Right? So they're just like they kind of just messed it up for us, and it started to be like every weekend.
Yeah.
And their group got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then we would have to find other places to drive or other times or other places. But like
because they started figuring out your schedule.
Yeah, but like they would always find us. They would always wreck, cause trouble.
They're trying the gutter trick and just
dirt drop drift. Yeah, no, but
deathmatch,
I think we even got into an argument with one, and he tried to tell us these are the rules of the mountain or something like that.
You're like, bro, what?
Yeah, he was like, our rules, and we're like, the fuck, our rules? Who the fuck are you? And it was bad. It was bad. So we stopped going.
We had to stop.
It was so sad because that was like my favorite thing to do with Benson. Like every weekend, like that was our bonding time. Like that was like we gotta go. Like it's super fun.
That's probably how he got so good. He's like, well,
yeah.
Nadine
it's
likes
training.
He's like, we're going every weekend.
It was training for him.
I need to figure out how to get some more tires.
I remember the first time like I started drifting up there, like it was on my own. And like when I realized I figured it out, I was like, I can't wait to show Nadine.
Oh,
so like we went up. I think we went up during the day, and I was like, check this out, babe.
Oh, so you guys met before you were like able to drift?
Yeah, like I was always trying, but I was always trying. That's all it was just trying.
Yeah. So what was it like learning for you? Did you learn from Benson or?
I learned. I mean, I didn't try until we started going to drifting events.
Yeah.
But I was always around it and I freaking loved it. But he introduced me to it because
Yeah.
even though I was looking at the option magazines, I didn't know what they're doing.
You're aesthetic focused.
I was looking
and-
aesthetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So Benson introduced me to drifting. And then in the meanwhile, I was autocrossing and doing like grip events. And
Oh, that's cool.
And so then eventually when I swapped my motor to an SR, that's when I started drifting more. And then my experience was great, but I kind of don't like learning from Benson because it kind of is a mind fuck. Because then I'm like, stop telling me what to do. I don't need to, and don't say it like that. And so it's kind of funny that like I think all my drifting was taught to me by everyone except Benson. Like I was
Yeah.
around and he made me love drifting. He introduced it to me, but like I was always being instructed by our friends. so that was like a weird thing, like a mind thing. Like
I was so sad. Like the first day she did third gear, and it was with Tony Angelo. I was like, man, I wanted to teach her third gear.
It kind of feels like
Cheating.
right? It's like, oh, and then same with tandem, right? Like I would go tandem with Justin Pollock, is that right?
Mhm.
Justin? And like I liked tandeming with Justin Pollock, but I'm like, oh, this is bad. Like I feel like I should just tandem with Benson only. So it kind of felt weird, you know?
Interesting.
I don't know.
But you still did it.
I did
Still
it.
did it.
I did it and I liked it. It was really bad. But it's not like I only drifted with him, but like I remember my most successful tandem attempts were with Justin. It was funny. So
In his FC,
yeah.
the old green,
Green
one.
The
one.
green
Yeah,
one.
that car was sick.
Yeah.
He was so good in that car.
Yeah. I had fun. It was good days. But yeah, Benson was the one first kind of doing all the dangerous stuff and I was
Yeah.
watching. And then, you know, once I saw the real drift events, I was like, I ain't gonna watch anymore. Like I'll drive
Yeah.
my car and you drive
Benson
your car.
was a cool, dangerous guy.
He was. And like if in
How
hindsight
times have changed.
What a bad boy you were back then.
but I mean in hindsight, we were at the top of a mountain learning how to do donuts. Like how
Right.
freaking dangerous is that, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It's not.
It just
It's
that
not.
dangerous,
It seems like if you've never heard of it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if too many people start doing it,
Yeah.
it makes it impossible.
yeah.
I don't know. I hope we find some like outlets because depending on where you're listening to this from in the world, like down here, I've been down here a bit more, and like Southern California, there's donut marks in like
Every intersection.
probably like
Mhm.
20% of the intersections down here, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of fucking intersections. It's insane.
Yeah.
But it's not because there's no outlets for it. It's just they want to do it there, right?
Yeah.
I don't really understand. I don't know. I actually don't know anybody that does that stuff, like the takeovers and stuff.
I've met a few
But-
dudes, and they've
So,
all
like, I
been,
don't
like,
understand
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard. It's like you're like, oh, damn, like,
Yeah.
like, oh, you use the same tires as me.
What?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. It's just,
What?
yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things where, like, I'm sure people who did like road racing saw drifting, they're like, fucking degenerate. But then at the same time, like, I don't know. It is the people getting hit, I think, is the big problem. Like, if people are
It's
just doing
crazy.
donuts like in the street, like, it is what it is. But like, as soon
Yeah.
as people start getting like,
Do they go hand in hand? Like, are the guys
because
that
like
are
when
the
with
guys
street
that are
drifting,
doing takeovers? Are they doing it because the people are so hyped and they're like getting close to the cars?
dude,
and, like,
can you imagine the energy of like having that many people like around?
yeah, for sure.
It's
like,
probably insane.
yeah, no, like
It's a
I'm
rush.
sure it's the same rush you get when you're at like Irwindale drifting the bank and there's a stadium full of people. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure
absolutely.
it feels like that. You hear the crowd and
To
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
for free.
But, like-
whenever you want.
but like like I mean, I would love that the rush of that, but I wouldn't want like people putting their lives in danger to
Yeah,
do it.
I think that's
so-
the hard part. Like,
Yeah,
how,
that's
like,
crazy.
yeah, it takes like, I don't know. It's probably like you have to be able to be okay with hitting somebody,
dude, that's wild.
which I don't know if I could do. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not something. I'm not interested in crashing into humans. I don't drive a Mustang. You know,
Was it like that in your controlled takeover? You should tell the story about that. Have you told the story about that on the podcast?
I have, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Alright. I missed it.
Why'd you have to bring it up? It's not out yet.
Okay.
Aaron Levin and I like talk about how
Alright.
got invited to a private drift event, and it ended up being like it wasn't a takeover. It was like a pit, like a hoonigan pit, that kind of
You
thing.
told me it was a controlled takeover.
I did not use those exact words.
Yeah,
Were there
I
people
think you
around?
did, right?
Like, were people around in a circle?
No, there was a bunch of dumpsters around. Though.
Okay.
Yeah. But no one was like out like trying to like slap our cars.
Yeah.
That's where my car caught on fire. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm never gonna live this down. The video that I was talking about got removed.
Yeah, so there's no evidence.
Yeah.
So like it's just all story now.
Yeah, now
So you can like tell it in a different way that
you'd
seems
be like,
cooler.
Man, it was crazy. You
I
like
got
jumped over
paid
the
to be
dumpsters
there.
into the
Dude,
pit.
sick.
Yeah. They paid us $30,000 each.
Dude.
It was sick.
That's dope.
Yeah.
The mayor
Too bad that
invited
video's
us.
gone.
Yeah,
Oh well.
it's good stuff.
The mayor gave you the key to the city after.
There's still videos.
Are there?
Yeah,
Oh, you
videos
didn't
exist.
show me.
I have the in car that Laura filmed.
Okay.
You should insert
How
that.
fast did she get out of the car when it caught on fire?
Not fast. We were both very calm.
That's good.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wait, because you didn't know, or because you were just
It's just I don't know. Cars catch on fire, man. Like
In your world,
yeah.
not our world.
My car's never caught on fire until then.
Hmm.
But I had a fire extinguisher, got out. Like anyway,
but it didn't work.
Didn't work. Well, it worked. It just didn't fully put the fire out.
Okay.
How
I'm
many?
putting a fuel cell in my car. Okay.
Is that gonna help?
Yeah.
But
okay.
other things make
My
cars
factory
catch
tank
on
is, like,
fire.
Leaking.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what happened. So
I mean, it's a race car. You should put a fuel cell
yeah,
in
I'm
it.
putting a fuel cell in it.
And then maybe like more than one fire extinguisher.
Or like
Like
one really
6.
good one.
Or just get the
Yeah,
Porsche.
I need to get
Porsche
that. I
one.
need to get the German spec.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You have a German
Fire
car. You
and
should have a German spec.
DOS fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
We'll look it up for you.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's what he wants for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh my god.
yeah.
Just gonna get a bunch of fucking fire extinguishers.
If you know Palmer and it's his birthday or Christmas,
No.
what he wants is a fire extinguisher. Doesn't
From a-
matter how many he
No,
gets.
no, but it has to be the Porsche one. The
Yeah,
fancy
a Porsche one.
Yeah.
It was
the
GT.
These are car people who listen to this.
Yeah.
They spend their money on cars, not shitty or not expensive fire extinguishers for me.
They might.
mean-
I don't need it.
They might.
Okay. I'm
I don't know. I think you need it
just gonna get handed a fire extinguisher like
all the
every time I see people.
Yeah, dude, that's dope.
Every guest.
God
Every
damn.
guest comes on. Here you go.
Hey, bro, I heard your car's fire. You might need this. Have you guys ever had a car catch on fire?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
You had an electrical
No.
fire.
I had electrical fire in my dash right before FD. How fucked up is that? Like I think I was
Before like the
going-
first round or a round.
before the first round. I think we were working something out. It my windshield wiper switch caused this fire. I don't even know what happened. Like things started not working and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So then I brought it to our friend, what's his name?
Was
He
it
does
Ernie?
GTRs. No, the guy in Torrance, the nice guy with the R32. And Marco.
Uh-huh.
Marco, what was his name?
Marco Vargas.
No, the store, GTR.
SR20 store.
SR20 store in Torrance.
Does it
And
exist
then
still?
He's still around. Yeah.
He's still around.
Sick.
Yeah.
You guys have so many like people down here that like do stuff.
Yeah. I can't believe he's still around too. He gave us
Yeah,
our first
he's
ride in
dope.
a R32 GTR. That was back in like
He had a Motor X, or
Yeah.
he still has it. Motor X R32. He's got a
Oof.
Hakoska.
Yeah, that was my first time in
Okay.
a GTR. So dope. But yeah, he was like, "Oh, let me take a look." He's like, "Oh, your whole wiring harness, like there's electrical fire. Like I've got to take it out and figure this out." And then I had the damn roll cage put in my car, and like I have it's welded into my car.
Oh, this might be like a
And-
one up to like dumb things you've done to your car.
So you can't take out the dash.
Are you ready? I want to
Yeah.
tell the story.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, we're
God.
all
like,
ready. We're
so
Oh
at
my
the edge of
God.
our seats.
So her car was getting worked on by Gary Castillo. I don't know. Do you know Gary Castillo?
I don't.
He's going to be on the podcast this season, but he worked on
Be sure to like and
l-
subscribe. So
yes.
Lady Mania.
Steel 80 Mania on YouTube, on
Yeah.
IG. Like and subscribe, please.
Yeah.
And
And Spotify.
Spotify
all
and
of them.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
He
You're getting really good at this.
yeah.
And give us a review.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 stars.
5-star
Thank you.
review, please.
Yeah.
So Gary Castillo, he worked on some big name cars that like you don't know who he is, but you know all the cars he's worked on. So like when Daigo Saito came, he worked on all of his cars that he brought. He worked on he helped develop.
Damn, he worked on Daigo's car. I heard
Yeah.
like the engine management and like everything was like super old school on that.
I
car.
don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna interview him
excited.
next weekend.
I'm excited about that.
But so and he worked on he not only worked on, he developed the RSR S2000, the one Alex Pfeiffer drove.
Nice.
Like a lot of Falcon cars, Calvin Wan's G35, just so many like iconic cars from the early FD days.
Yeah.
But so he was working on Nadine's car. She needed a like legit roll cage put in because she didn't want the whatever
Safety 21
junk that I had, and Safety 21 didn't pass tech, right?
Yeah.
So he did a custom one. She's like, she had him do it just like
a Bolton.
Just like a Bolton, just
So
like
it
a
wrapped around the dash.
Cusco or Safety 21, and it wrapped around the dash. And like I don't know why, like I just was not involved. And then when I saw it, I was like, babe, why did you do this? Because you can't take the dash out now.
And I had just changed my dash too to like
like
a
a
non-cracked
clean
one.
Yeah.
This beautiful dash that I got put into when I
know where
painted
this
my
is
car.
going.
Yeah. So it wraps around the dash. You have a small crack in it now, right?
No, it's mint still.
I think you've got a small crack.
You
but
got
like,
an uncracked dash in there?
she can't take it out
uncracked
though.
Dash.
Because
It
there's
doesn't
a
need to come
welded in
out.
roll cage wrapped around the dash.
You don't need to take it out. It's perfect.
Okay.
So he couldn't take the dash out to fix the harness. He had to
go underneath.
And as
then
a
he
tall
had to-
guy who used to do a lot of wiring in cars, I would have lost it.
Yeah. And he told me when he fixed it, he goes, "You're gonna have to take it out. This is just gonna be okay for now."
Yeah.
And I never went back to get it fixed.
Oh, so it's the same.
So it's the same.
How
It's
long ago
good.
was this? Like
2005.
Hey.
Hey.
He does, man, that's good work.
His
His
patch job
shoddy
was
patch job is
Yeah.
20 years solid.
cherry. Yeah. So it's all good. But I mean, it's not a bad story. I mean, it just, people have these problems. But
It happens.
But all those things happen, in the 11th hour, just right before, right? Like before we're gonna drive FD, and like just shit hits the fan. I should finish. I don't want
Laura needs some.
Yeah, we gotta top off the producer.
How are we doing, Laura? Are we good? Okay.
Yeah, how's our levels?
Yeah. Levels
You're not-
check.
She's not.
Okay.
I so I've listened to every single episode you guys have put out
Thank you.
on
Thank
the
you.
on the podcast that we just pitched 2 seconds ago. I've learned more about the early days of drifting through your podcast than anything else at this point.
Because I mean, where else would you find information on that stuff?
Well, and like the people telling the stories and like, dude, was it Toshi that told the story about Motorex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was on an I remember where I was listening to that.
Uh-huh.
I was like on an airplane. Cause like, dude, when you're 12 or whatever, like Motorex is on all the like
yeah, it had
GTR
ads.
toys.
Yeah, they,
and, like,
they were on all the like magazine articles.
Yeah, so like I knew what Motorex was when I was like a little kid. And so like hearing the story of Motorex, and it's like, yeah, they were like getting the cars approved, and then like shit just started getting shady, and then like
You had no idea.
I had no idea.
Oh,
It was like
wow.
the coolest story ever to me. Like
Yeah.
knowing like that early day like import,
Yeah.
like just I don't know, like having a window into the like inner workings of like what I was seeing in magazines as
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
It's such a like important thing, and like I know it's like a lot of work, especially like scheduling with people and
Yeah.
stuff. Like watching you guys kind of like become more comfortable as like hosts and interviewing and
Yeah.
like what to put out, like how to put out and Not how to put out. That sounds weird.
No, he puts out just fine.
Love to hear it. What a stud.
He is.
How many kids do you have?
A lot. We
4
have
and
4.
counting. No, I'm just kidding. No, 4.
And counting?
No.
We were at
No,
a
we're
breakfast today, and we were with his old friend from college, and then she's like, "I can't believe you have 4 kids." I'm like, "Girl, I wanted more.
Damn.
I wanted more."
You want to be a mom.
Mom, no, it's Benson's fun though. Like, he's so good. He's so good to have kids with. Like, he's a good dad. He's a sweetheart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we could have done more, but he cut me off. He's like, "No, no more."
Yeah, I mean, you can only do such a good job with,
I know.
like, as you have more kids, you're gonna not. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna limit your ability to spread your good parenting.
Maybe.
That's true.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. My parents only had 2 kids, and
Yeah.
my mom did good.
She did good.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I called Benson with my mom in the car because my mom didn't know what an OG was.
Yeah. What did she's dope. I love your mom. What did she think it was? I forgot.
I was like, I'm calling Benson right now. And I was like, "Hey Benson, what's an OG?" And he's like, "Original gangster." And my mom's like, "I thought it was old guy."
Oh, yeah,
She's like, "You're always saying OG, OG
Yeah.
this, OG that."
Your mom's dope.
Like, fucking old guy.
It's true.
It's kind of true.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable.
Yeah. So
Yes.
thanks for being a great OG.
Yeah, dude. It's my pleasure.
Well, it's funny too in Japanese, like OG-san is an old man.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really
and-
weird how that is the same. It's kind of the same thing.
And if you
And it sounds the
the longer you say it like OG, the older the person is. So if you
Really?
go like OG, then it's like you old.
Do you think
So-
when they listen to like West Coast gangster rap in Japan, they're like, I
Damn,
know what
OGs?
that means.
OG?
Yeah.
Yes,
Old man.
yes, right? I don't know.
Well, my mom's gonna be way happier now that there's like some kind of correlation that she was kind of right.
Does she
She's
listen to your
totally
podcast?
Right.
My mom listens to every single
Every
one.
single one? That's love. That's dope.
Yeah. She found out about me.
But you didn't tell her.
She found out about me stealing her car when I was 14 through the podcast.
Oh, did you get in trouble?
like a year ago.
But
yeah,
you-
yeah.
I remember that. So
She-
you did something really bad in the car,
I
right?
did, yeah.
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, she called me after the podcast. After she listened to the podcast, and she was just like, "So that's what happened to the Volvo."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
I was like, "Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry."
Foot in mouth. Oh man.
Yeah, I used to steal her car all the time. I would go. So I used to take it out in the dry a lot,
Yeah.
like at night in the middle of the night, but just like kind of staying like, I don't know, within like 2 or 3 miles of the house. I'm like 14, maybe 13. I play a lot of Gran Turismo. Okay, like, I know how to brake and
Yeah.
turn and stuff. I also I did like a little bit of karting, so I had like some car control.
That's right.
Yeah.
From your dad, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which ended in a ball of flames, and anyway, that's a
Yeah.
whole other
Yeah,
story
yeah,
for
yeah.
another day.
We
But
don't
like,
have time for that.
yeah, no one does. So I would like take her car out, and one time I was doing like 100 on like city streets.
14 years old?
Yes, it was a Volvo S80 T6, like the turbo one. So it was really
Oh,
fast. It was like
wow.
a fast car.
Yeah.
Back in 2004 or whatever. Like it was 300 horsepower, and so like I'm doing ridiculous speeds in this thing and like slam on the brakes, and my friend's in the passenger seat. And we're both 14.
Dude.
He doesn't have a seatbelt on, slams into the dash in the windshield, and like I'm crying laughing, but like also feel really bad because but I'm like, okay, time to take the car back. Like we're doing dumb
Yeah.
stuff. Like this is gonna end badly. And so like he told some of my other friends and was like, hey, like Palmer can take his mom's car. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go
yeah.
pick up these girls. And it was raining.
Yeah.
And I'm not really like good with peer pressure, and I wasn't at all then.
Yeah.
So I was like a little nervous, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So there's 4 of us, and we go to pick up 2 girls, and I drove it like 20 minutes. We're
Yeah.
on the freeway, and like I drove like all through my city and
Yeah.
stuff. Not Ace, like it's like a small town that I lived in. We pick up the girls, and then I'm 14 and full of show off juice, and I'm like doing J turns and like
what?
pulling e-brake and stuff. And, like,
Dang.
because like I used to take the car out and like do car control stuff, like quote unquote car control stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I go, we're done with that. Everybody's impressed. You know, I'm feeling like the fucking man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I'm so sick. Like, I did a J turn. You know, like I didn't even know what a J turn was at the time. It was just like reverse and forward.
Wow.
You know? And it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
And I exit the freeway at like 80 miles an hour on this like, you know, 270-degree like freeway off ramp with 6 people in the car, and just understeer into the fucking like K rails that go around it, and like the car like leaves the ground and like everything's in slow motion. And I look in the rear view and everyone's faces looks like they're gonna die, and I'm like no, you know, like it's like a movie. It was like,
dude,
a fucking movie.
Wait, and you had 6 people in the car.
Yeah.
So not all of them had seatbelts on.
No. So we had to,
who's the bad boy now? Dang.
I think you beat me, Palmer.
I've done a lot of dumb stuff. There's that list goes way fucking longer. I'll spare everybody, but yeah. So the car like drops back down, and I'm like, I try and drive it. It drives away. I'm like, okay.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
And I was like, it's all right. Shout out Sweden, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and you like pull into this like McDonald's. It's like near my old house. And I'm like looking at the car, and like the bumper's hanging off, like the rear bumper, and like the wheel has like the tires like all like has like a bunch of marks on it, and the wheels kind of like scraped up.
Yeah.
But the rest of the car is fine.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh god, what do I do with this bumper? Like, So I like click it back in. And it goes back in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god,
dude, Volvos are dope.
I was like, oh, all right, let's take this thing back. And like, so I go, and those girls like everybody's like hanging out, and I'm just like super scared and like embarrassed. You know, because you're 14, and I just went from being like the coolest dude on the planet to like the biggest sucker ever. You know. And so like I parked the car in the driveway, like, you know, put it in neutral, turn it off, and like let it roll in. And like the next morning I get a call from my mom, and she's like, this car's driving pretty weird. Like do you know what happened to my car? I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe somebody hit you in a parking lot. Like, I don't know what's happening. You know, playing it dumb. And there was like some scratches too that like I couldn't get off, but like I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she believed me.
She knew. That's why she called you.
Yeah, she knew. But
man, like as a parent, when the kids say I don't know, that makes you freaking crazy, because you
Really?
know they know. And they feel like that's their like get out of jail free card. You just say I don't know.
I'm so scared to ever have kids, because if I have a kid that's anywhere close to as fucking psycho as I was, I'm never gonna sleep.
But you have the experience to kind of like.
I think I would be better at handling a kid like that than my parents were.
Would you be like, you'd be more understanding then?
I think I would be more understanding, and I would know what to look out for, like when they're going down certain paths, because like I went on some like paths, you know, that like,
but don't you
they were not well equipped to like handle or
right
even be aware of,
right,
I guess, like what to look out for.
But do you think that you would be like more understanding to the fact that they're gonna want to do what they want to do regardless of what you say? That's the hardest part, I think.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have no idea because I don't have kids, but Mr. Street Drift over here, what was it like having kids? And like, obviously,
I think
they're gonna lie sometimes.
Yeah,
they're gonna get into trouble sometimes.
And like you're always the broken record when you say like, I was a teenager too, like I know what it feels like. They do not care what you did when you were a teenager. They don't care if
like,
you
I
understand.
used to fucking street drift.
Yeah, like
I was like the hardest street drifter in Southern California.
You're still the lame old guy that's talking to them. You know, it doesn't matter.
Like, fuck you with your oldies.
Yeah,
like, oldies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's R&B and stuff like that. They're just like, as soon as it comes on, like stuff like hip hop, like Nas or Biggie, they're like, this is old, change it. Oh, yeah, sad. But
I'd disown them right then. Maybe I wouldn't be a good parent. Like,
Shut up.
These are the classics.
You think like you always think you're gonna be the cool parent and that you know better and like your kids can like you can relate to your kids, but the your kids can never relate to you. I don't know.
You guys can adopt me. I'd appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My daughter, my oldest one, like she's all right. We have like a big gap between the first two kids,
Mhm.
right? So she's older. So right now she's like 26, right? So when we hang out, it's cool now. I feel like we're sisters. Like
Yeah.
it's good. We have understanding. So I thought like with that, I'd be like the cool parent because really there wasn't that much of a gap between us because I had her really young. And it's still not the case. It doesn't
No.
matter, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, are you guys sisters?" And she's like, "This is just my mom," and it
She
just
hates it, and you
yeah,
love it.
yeah, and I love
Like,
it.
hell
And
yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
sisters.
"Why? Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you very much." And then like when I was her age, like or when I was younger, right? When I was like 16, I would jump out the window like every weekend, right, and go
Yeah.
out with my friends and go to the street races or do whatever.
Damn.
So then when it came time for her to get her own room, we put cameras up and I'm like, put one right there by her window. Because I just want to make
Damn.
sure.
Okay.
And so like
She would never have
but
done that
like
anyway.
but that's the thing is she didn't even jump
Yeah.
out the window or
She
try
was
to
a
jump
good
out the
girl.
window. Or maybe it's because of my camera.
Or
Damn.
maybe it was the rose bushes with thorns that we put outside her window.
That could be that
my
too.
God, you booby
That's the
trap.
move.
You booby
That's the
trap
move.
and camera her window.
but if she went out the front door, no, we had cameras at the front door too. This is
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, we try to make it. I don't know. So you know things, right? When you have kids, and then you're like, oh, I remember in my day. So you're gonna make sure they don't do it. But it's like you do
Yeah,
those
I'm putting
kind
a
of
fucking
things.
starter kill on all my cars. Girls or guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Plus
Yeah.
the cameras in the driveway,
Yeah,
right?
and they're gonna be remote too.
With
Yeah,
the gate
dude.
that like closes and will not open unless you put your
Yeah.
code in or something. But I don't know.
You ain't gonna be picking up boys in my car at 14.
Not on my watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did the girls think you were not cool after that?
Yeah, they were so scared. They were
Really?
like, what the fuck? I mean,
That's a cool story, man. I don't know.
yeah.
you got lucky though.
I did get
Like,
really
you
lucky. Yeah, that
just
could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had a lot of run-ins with like dangerous car stuff because that was like my thing. I don't know. I was just like obsessed with like
being
car
hella
chases and
dangerous.
movies, and like I wasn't good at fighting, I wasn't good at sports anymore. Like
Yeah.
I was like I did some other like, capitalist endeavors and like being dangerous in
That
cars.
sounds shady.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell that story on the podcast someday.
Alright.
I have an interesting origin story
Okay.
that was like where I
Oh.
went away from cars for like a little bit because I was pursuing
Drug dealing.
should I just tell it?
I called it.
I mean, you
Did
might
I call it?
Should I tell a story?
I think let's proceed.
Well, I mean, I
So
I just
Palmer,
didn't say no.
where you came
I can
from-
definitely
where-
cut this out
yeah,
though.
no, you can't. Just leave it in.
You can't
It's
cut
okay.
anything out. What can we do to make sure he doesn't cut it out?
We love you so much, Palmer.
Damn it.
And like we love you. You're such a great friend to us. And we're so thankful that you have us on here.
All right, so at 17 years old, the Marin County Major Crimes Task Force and DEA kicked in my front door at my mom's house.
They kicked it in.
Yeah,
Like with the
flak
battering
jackets,
ram.
plain clothes, like
Yo,
the whole
what
thing.
time?
I don't know. It was in the afternoon.
Oh, that's not even like a
It
surprising
wasn't like
time.
6 in the morning, like a Ice Cube song.
Yeah.
Or Ice Tea.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything cool like that. But
They broke your door though.
yeah. And my mom was home.
Were you home?
No. I'll tell you why. All right, so earlier in that day, I was on a date in the city with my friend, and like I was on a double date in San Francisco, and I get a phone call saying I'm gonna leave names out of this, but your best friend has been like
Arrested.
Detained.
and he's like he got guns drawn,
Dang.
put down in his like grandparents' front lawn.
grandparents?
Yeah.
Day of heartbreak.
Yeah. And so I'm freaking out because I have a huge stash at my house
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what's going to happen next.
Stash of.
Uh,
Leap.
No, I'll just say I sold ecstasy, dude.
Okay.
Oh
In like
my
in like
God.
2000, 2006, 2007. So it was like
Okay.
the hyphy era. It was like
Yeah,
really
that was
popular.
like the height of E, right?
Yeah. So that was like it was a time, you know, young capital. Yeah, I didn't have like a lot of money.
I called it.
My parents had money like through their families, and it kind of dwindled. And I like when I was younger, we had like, you know,
Oh,
I did the karting thing
you
and
wanted
stuff.
to live that life.
And it went away, right?
Yeah.
Like my mom started to struggle really hard, single parent stuff. My dad was like depressed and like didn't work for a bunch of years. They were separate. I didn't live with him. I lived with my mom.
Yeah.
So my mom was like grinding.
Yeah.
She wasn't home a lot 'cause she was out there like trying to make something and like trying to make stuff work. She had her own, she's like a fashion designer, and like she wanted to do fashion, and like I don't know, she had like her own brand, and she was like trying to keep it going because like that was her livelihood. And
That's where your brother got it.
yeah, like I don't know, that's why I enjoy it too. I used to spend time all the time with my mom, like at her different jobs and stuff. And then 9/11 hit, and she sold like these like velvet like luxury like coats, like they're really sick. And all the major fashion brands just like she Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, she sold all of them.
Yeah.
Like she was doing really well. They all canceled their orders at the same time right after she left my dad.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so like so
It's
like
the sake. Sorry.
it's definitely you guys got what's
I
in
need-
this
I need
sake?
more
You're making me
sake.
disclose
I need
all
more
of my
sake.
secrets. All right, yeah. All right.
It's
I'm
the
on
truth
E.
serum right
I'm on
there.
E.
Yeah.
It's
What is-
from
you're
Japan.
oh wow. Clever.
Right there.
Are you good, Laura? If she's not good, you gotta talk
She's
raw.
been
Here you
waiting.
go.
She's been waiting.
Are you
Okay.
good, babe?
I'm good. I'm gonna have to pee soon though.
So all right, I'll finish the story because people are probably like, well, tell me what fucking happened.
This is a good time for a break.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a good time
Once
for
you
an ad
guys
break.
send your
Yeah, let's-
fire extinguishers in, we'll tell you the rest of the story.
Okay. So
Wait, we're not gonna do an ad break?
no.
Oh, damn.
Do you want to go pee?
No, I want to hear your story
Okay.
first.
Okay. So anyway,
She-
parents like starting to like kind of decline and like financial stuff. I was like kind of on my own financially, and I worked at Circuit City, and I made $7 an hour, and I worked 3 hours 3 days a week. So you know, do the math. Not much money,
Yeah.
right? And so I like had this opportunity. You know, it faces you, and you're like, huh, like kind of sick of eating dollar menu. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Like I'm kind of like tired of putting 4 cents in my car or $2 in my car at a time.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
shit like that.
I remember those days too.
You're like, okay, well, fuck it, you know, and you like start seeing what happens. And you know, my friend was like very entrepreneurial, and we kind of just built up this like whole like network of like friends and
Yeah.
stuff. So it grew really fast.
Dang.
And like it started to get kind of like darker at the end because we were like hanging out with like more and more people who like, I don't know how to explain it, but like my friend's concept was, which is genius. We're 16. You gotta remember this, like turning 17, and he's like, okay, all the people who would rob us, let's just befriend them.
Okay.
We'll give them like our cost on everything.
You gotta
Like, this
keep,
is
you
power
gotta
move,
keep your
right?
enemies close.
You gotta keep your enemies, and then they go from enemies to friends.
Yeah.
And so like now you have all these people who are like everyone's afraid of, and now now your circle is like everyone's afraid of, which
Yeah.
led to like all kinds of wild stuff
Yeah.
that I'm not gonna get into any of that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
just the amount of like dangerous like situations that we got ourselves into. And like, yeah, I had a code, you know, like I'd never drive around with like more than X amount, and I like was like really like meticulous about phone call. Like people would try and set us up all the time, and like it was like,
Oh, you can tell, like, yo, you're a narc.
yeah, and like in the end we got set up by somebody who was like we got set up by like someone in our circle and someone who was like in our town that we like knew of, who was like another dealer and was like just
And
buying
you didn't
bulk, and he set us up. So
You didn't know.
no, we didn't know.
Dang.
Where was the stash at home?
It was in a lockbox in my dresser drawer.
That's such a.
That's like,
But that's so easy to find.
Well, let me finish. All right.
Okay.
So like I hear about this go down and I freak. And then my friend's mom
and you're
calls
like, let's
me.
go on a double date.
No, I was already in. I'm an hour from my house.
Yeah.
So my friend at the time had just joined the Marines, but didn't get like deployed yet. And so he was hanging out with this Marine recruiter who like didn't know about any of this shit. But I was like, that guy's got like military plates.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey man, can you go to the house and grab everything? Like I think shit's going down. And he's like, yeah, for sure. So he like went into my house.
That's a homie right there.
Grabs everything.
Yeah.
And we're talking like thousands of ecstasy pills. Like,
Yeah.
And
this
your
is not
mom
like
let him in the house? Like it's
in
just
my
like,
house, my front door was always unlocked. My mom's very trusting.
Okay.
wow.
Also, like this is like my friends that would come over a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like weird that like people would come and go from the house. Obviously, for other reasons, also it wasn't weird that people would come and go from the house.
Yeah.
Sorry, mom.
Oh no.
More of this.
She doesn't know the story?
No, she knows the story because she
Okay.
was there. So
Okay.
So like they move all this stuff.
Mm.
I find out my friend's mom calls me and goes, "Hey, you're on this search warrant. Like your car's on there, your house is on there. Like anything that your phone's tapped. Like just heads up."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm 17. Like I don't know how to like handle this. I'm like, do I call a lawyer?
Yeah,
Like what do I do?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just like, I tell my friend, hey, my phone's tapped. They probably know that you went and grabbed it.
Yeah.
Like so I started using other people's phones to call people to like
Yeah.
have it disappear essentially. And so by the time they get to my house, I'm fucking gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm gone. Everything's hidden.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kick my door in and my mom's there. My mom's calling me and just saying like, you need to come home. And my mom would like never talk to me like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, like,
Oh, like not knowing, like she's like, "Hello, can you please come home right
no,
now?"
No,
like,
she was like sounded visibly like, or she sounded
was
like
she pretending
audibly
not
furious.
But were they like
trying to
making
pretend
her-
like she
Give
was
you
like
like a code word.
my mom's not that gangster. My mom's pretty gangster, but not that gangster. Like she was upset, and I think just trying to keep the fucking DEA task force guys happy that are in her house. So she's calling me, and I'm like, "Hey, mom. Yeah, I know what's going on. Like, I'm not gonna see you for a little bit. I'm sorry." And like, I just like hang up the phone, and like, I changed my number that day. I like called AT&T and changed my phone number. Yeah. So I got.
So DEA never caught up with you?
There was nothing at the house.
So they didn't try and find you. They never detained you, nothing.
All they ever had was
they didn't find anything, so you were good.
So all they ever had was me selling like 30 pills to an undercover.
Yeah.
But I was also a minor.
Okay.
And DEAs, and I don't know if this is true or not. Someone told me that like they weren't supposed to go after minors, but like because we were doing like a whole operation, they're like, "Fuck, this is not good." Like,
yeah.
They like hit us. So I think because I was and so my friend, dealing with felonies and like that whole stuff, and like I could have very easily had a different life had that gone differently.
Dude, like isn't that a trip when you think about we did really dumb things as a teenager, like all the things that could have gone wrong and they didn't. Like
sliding doors.
I think about that all the time. Like so many times when I'm like drifting at Toge or like racing CHP down the street or like anything, like it could have drastically changed my life.
Yeah. So we like, I don't know. It was like a group of us who all had like kind of interesting families, and we wanted to have fun in life, and like you kind of need money to have fun, and it was also not bad to have that kind of it was a wild couple years. Like it was a wild lifestyle.
But that was a wake up call for you, right?
Oh yeah. So what happened was my friend completely changed his life. He's like didn't touch anything after that. He went to college, went to community college, like really tried like just totally turned his life around.
Yeah.
And when he started doing that, the group kind of like disappeared because it was a completely different lifestyle and like vibe than everybody was looking for. Like, but I kind of stuck with him.
That's dope.
And so I don't know, we were still really close, and we're still close to this day. I'm still close with the plug that we got all our stuff from. I'm not gonna say what he drives, but he's in the cars. So yeah.
Dude, everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. So like the fact that that all went down and that like you turned your life around and your friend did.
Yeah, and I talk about how like drifting saved my life a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it took drifting and like that passion and that dedication and that finding something to just put everything into and like give me a reason to want to make money and give
Yeah.
me like that fix. Cause I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like selling drugs is definitely an adrenaline fix.
Yeah.
Like if you're driving around with, you know, narcotics on
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like I have a lot of stories of just trying to avoid like very difficult situations, and like that
Yeah.
is like requires critical thinking and like
Yeah. Thinking on your feet and
yeah.
being able to pivot.
Yeah, like drifting gives me that because it's like, okay, I need to fix my car like at this event. How do I do it? Yeah, it's like a very like similar thing. Or like, oh, I want to drive here. Like,
Yeah.
you need that. Like, I don't know.
Look at you now. You're doing it all without breaking any laws or being a
Yeah.
criminal
Well,
mastermind.
I did do donuts in the vert in the LA River yesterday, so maybe I'm not
It's
totally
okay.
out of it.
Everybody does that.
I mean,
though.
that's not a public street, so
Yeah.
I don't.
This is different. But I mean, like my experience with drifting is like the same in that I learned the most about myself and like grew the most from like all my experiences in drifting. So it's a little different because you're like it's for you, it's like it gives you kind of purpose,
Yeah.
right? You build your life around it and it's just a part of your life. For me, it's like that's kind of where I came from. And then I learned like to build my self-confidence and self-worth and like learn about life through drifting, like because of all the things that I had to go through being one of the first females, like shit was hard. So then when it's not that I ever left, but when I stopped driving pro and things kind of slowed down, I realized like, damn, I like leveled up mentally and like
Yeah.
even like my businesses, like I figured out money because I had to go get my own sponsors and deal with agents and contracts and marketing. And I was like, damn, like I take all of the things that I love and learned around drifting and like succeed in other ways in life. And that's kind of like what Drifting Pretty, all the girls that I mentored in Drifting Pretty, it was the same shit for them, where it was like, it wasn't as hard for them, but they did learn alongside with me about all that. We learned our lessons together and like they all do badass things now because of their time, like learning drifting and like all the things we had to deal with.
I
So
think
it's a trip.
I think any difficult situation
Yeah.
will create it's either gonna make or break you. Like
Yeah.
and
It's not gonna kill you, so it's gonna make you stronger and
yeah.
give you some, I don't know, some superpower or something.
At the least, like teach you a lesson, right?
Yeah.
Teach you something.
Yeah.
So I guess to be fearless too, right?
Yeah.
Because like, dude, you think about like the things you do drifting. It's like totally like makes you this badass, fearless person. But while you're doing it, you're just like, just another day. But then from like a bystander, like they're just like, you're crazy, you're gonna risk your life, and you're and then like it's different. It's like neutralized in your brain. You're like, oh, that's just how I roll. But that's what I love about like the drifting stuff and the lifestyle that we have.
I think just passions give you the ability to like if you're really fucking passionate about something and it's something difficult, like you're gonna be able to apply that to other things. Like I applied me learning how to drift to me learning how to write software, like write code.
What?
Yeah, because it's like it's
Is
the
that
same
why
thing.
Benson's
It's difficult.
a programmer? Is that
Well,
what
which one did you learn first?
Programming.
Okay, so it's the opposite for me.
Yeah. I mean, programming didn't help me drift, so I want to know what you're gonna say.
Maybe it did though.
Okay.
Damn.
You can do that the thing where like all the mathematical equations are like
No, I mean like no, like you learn how to do something difficult.
Yeah.
Right? And you learned how to learn through learning how to code
in
a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would say that coding is very like it requires like spatial understanding of like what you're creating, right?
Okay.
Like making this happen, that and there. And so like with that like spatial learning, you can apply that to like, all right, if I turn the wheel here, like the wheels are going to do this and the
Yeah.
car's going to go that way. It's
Yeah.
like a very similar way of breaking things down.
If this, then that. Your if then.
Oh, if then
If
else.
Yeah.
If statements.
Yeah. If understeer, cry. If else, not if else oversteer,
Exclude
return
tears.
return smile.
Oh my gosh, this
has gotten
this
so nerdy.
podcast has gotten really bad.
I went from fucking talking about being a drug dealer to like
yeah, dude.
doing pseudocode.
Yeah. All right, I have to pee.
All right. No, a word from our sponsors. They've all pulled out after me telling that story. I've always wondered when I'm going to tell that story on here. I was going to wait for episode 100.
I know. You have to be a guest.
I almost told it on your podcast. I almost gave you guys that exclusive.
Damn it. Why didn't you?
Decriminalized? Ecstasy is not decriminalized. Still a narcotic.
Statute of limitations?
Statute of limitations, that was way over 7 years ago. So, at me.
There you go. You're good. You're good. I know, but you need to be a guest on your own podcast. We got to get you
a guest on my own podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down.
You got to find a host. I think there's one sitting in this room.
Yeah. I'm down.
That's what I propose.
What is... Are you good
you
at
gotta get the
interviewing?
goods.
All right,
gotta
cool.
get
All right, we'll set it up.
all the goods.
Yeah.
You gotta be in the hot seat. And you gotta ask the heavy hitting questions, like the good ones.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into my dad stuff too much on here, but I've like hinted at it. I've hinted at the drug dealing stuff. But
yeah.
Now it's out there.
Well, you should. I mean, yeah, that's our Super Street photo.
That's so sick.
Yes.
There's a picture of Benson and Nadine in front of their cars in their wedding attire.
Oh, yeah, that was so fun. We're booking the florist for the wedding. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a gazebo. I'll put the flowers in the gazebo and the aisles." And I'm like, so I got my cars coming. And
She's
they're
like, what
the fuck? And I'm like, I need to park them on the grass, and then I want you to do the florals for the cars. And she's like, what? What
Ooh.
cars? And it was the funniest thing. So like, I think that was probably the first time a florist had to do like floral arrangements.
Are
for,
we
like,
still recording?
cars.
Yeah.
Talking about florists?
Okay, this is my turn.
I do not remember drinking that much sake. Yeah, that's from the wedding. I set up this slideshow for you.
I saw it because it says Goodest cast in the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah,
corner,
yeah.
and I was like,
That's
did
just for
he
you.
put together all of these pictures for
That's
me?
what I was doing on my phone earlier.
Really?
I know it sounded like I was being rude, but I was putting together like a little...
Man, if you're not friends with Benson and Nadine, you're missing out. I'll just say that. Yeah, all right. Well, I wasn't expecting to, divulge all that, but hey, here we are.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's my
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, so
Are you gonna get in trouble for that?
No, it's statute of limitations, 7 years.
7 years? You
Yeah.
can do any... Like, could you kill a person? You can't do that, right?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. Yeah, maybe I kill somebody, but they're not
you
gonna
can sell
fucking
drugs.
come after me. It was like half my life
I mean, they
ago.
never found it, so...
It was literally half my life ago.
Can you tell me, like, what was... Like, something crazy that you bought from all that money that you made? Did you make a lot of money?
Yeah, but I wasn't good with it.
Okay.
Like, we just party a lot, and like,
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I will have avocado on my sandwich.
Dang!
Thank you very much. Like, I was like, no more rodeo cheeseburgers.
$2 upcharge? No problem.
No more rodeo cheeseburgers. No more fucking
no more 99-cent
car
menu.
change 99-cent menu
Dang.
bullshit, or like asking my friends for fries. Like,
So you weren't like living large though. You were just kind of
No,
you're
like,
making a living, but
yeah, we weren't like, I don't know. We were like building something.
you're on your way, but
Yeah.
you didn't get there yet.
Yeah, and like the challenge.
But if you think about it, if you did get there, like
Yeah.
your story would be a lot different.
Yeah, I had a house party during this time,
Yeah.
and like some of our friends that were like part of our like the people that you don't want to fuck with were there,
Yeah.
and then there was these like Peckerwood white dudes from my city that also showed up,
Yeah.
and there was like almost like a Vallejo like hood versus like redneck Peckerwood like showdown in my living room. Like
What?
I had like a bunch of wild stuff happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like why like I
Could
don't
you
know.
write a movie about your
About-
stories?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I've had like a pretty crazy life.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
I think
Sell
you
the
should.
rights to your
You should do it.
story.
yeah. I'll call it Jonah Hill. Make it a comedy.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Hey Seth.
Get
Hey
on
Seth
that.
Rogen.
Yeah, dude.
Let's make a
Jonah
movie.
And then just say like, I want to do my own driving though.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the car stuff really was like
Your escape.
was my escape from all that, because like I could have just kept like partying and like,
Yeah, you are not lying when you say like drifting saved your life.
oh yeah,
You're not
definitely.
exaggerating.
I mean,
either.
like I needed something to
Yeah.
like focus my energy on, and like I say that to anybody who like has kids who are just like fucking all over the place. Like they need like a thing that like they gravitate to, and if they
Mm.
find that, like do not take that away from them, because that's gonna be their like North Star.
Well, and
Yeah.
not only that, like when you have a significant other and like they have a passion, don't take that away from them. So like, 'cause
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many dudes, right? Like I see you guys like love the cars, and then you meet a lady and she doesn't love cars, and she's like, give that up. Why are you always at the track and not with me? And things like
Yeah.
that. And like that was my pet peeve. Like,
But that's because
sure.
you're a real one. You're a day one ride or die.
Hell yeah. But I mean, like, that's the love, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
it is.
respect each other's passions and you love what they love because they love it.
Yeah, and it makes
So-
them happy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
taking anyone's passion away is, as long as it's, you know, there's some passions that like, you know.
Passionate about selling E.
God
Whoa,
damn
whoa,
it.
whoa.
So I watched The Wire,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago or something. And like, I was like watching, like, they were like, oh, like it was like all the back end cop stuff about like getting a wiretap and like
Yeah.
learning about the operation. I was like, it wasn't like, it was like maybe like 3 or 4 years off from like when we got rated, but I was
Yeah.
like, is that what they went, like they had to like do all this shit, and they had like all these like marking fucking phone calls
All
and
the
stuff. They
pre-work.
heard,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, did they listen to all my phone
Yeah,
calls?
dude,
Like,
probably.
they heard me spitting
did you
like
go back to, like-
16-year-old game. Like,
Yeah,
oh
dude.
God, there's some cop just dying laughing somewhere.
That's why they didn't get you. They're like, this guy's not worth it.
This fool's harmless,
They're like,
obviously.
yeah. Well, he's
Take that as a compliment.
yeah, fuck.
They could have got you if they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, they could have, but they didn't have. They obviously they don't have enough. If they would have went after me, if they would have had enough to.
Yeah.
But like, my life could have been very different, and
Yeah.
I think about that like
Mm.
both probably because of how I look.
Yeah.
And I probably would have gotten caught a lot sooner
Yeah.
if I looked different than I do. And like, we're not gonna get into the politics of that,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where you like have to appreciate the luck
Yeah.
that came with that. Like my friend's mom is like
dude.
saved me, you know,
Mhm.
because like if I didn't know that, I would be using my phone still.
Yeah.
Like one of my like gangster friends was like listening to my phone. He's like, your shit's tapped, and I was like, how can you tell? He's like, it's clicking and popping, and I was
Oh,
like,
dude.
I heard that in the fucking like Jacka
I
song,
didn't. Yeah.
and I'm like,
I didn't know it was real.
yeah, and I was like, I don't know if that's real, but it was like, I
Yeah.
found out later, like it's crazy. So
But that's what I was also saying. Like, if you had been more successful doing what you're doing, like you wouldn't
if it
have
would have
been.
went on like longer, like
you would have
I
been a
would've-
higher priority on their list. Like they would have got you. They would have made sure they
if
got
we
you.
would have had 2 more years, like I would have been in a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Plus, you'd be an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of my friend just turned 18 when they got him. So
Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
What's
real.
he doing now? What's he
He's a software developer.
sick?
They're
Hmm.
gonna make him he's like on his way to being a staff engineer within like 3 years.
Dude, that's dope. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, he's badass. And like, I don't know, it's just it was a necessity for the time,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that I had that experience and
Yeah.
that nothing like really bad happened to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, yeah, I've had people like pull stuff on me, and you know, even at like that age, it's just like you end up in like really weird situations.
Yeah.
And like the thing that I always found was like, this is gonna sound dumb, but like I felt like dirty money like leaves quicker. Like I
Mhm.
would just have like bad stuff happen to me a lot that like cost money and this
Yeah.
and that. And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like kind of like living this like look over your shoulder life. And like you don't really like trust people, and it was just I don't know, like the highs were so high and the lows were so weird.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like low necessarily, but they were. It was just a weird. It was a weird situation.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade it because I learned a lot about life and people and
For reals.
yeah.
Yeah, that was your path. And I don't think it was luck that like why you didn't get caught. It was just fate. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't
It
your
was
time.
it was in the plan for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we're all here today.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
if
Is
things
this
were
my
different.
intervention?
No.
This is a celebration that you didn't get thrown in jail
Celebration
and
of
you're so
life.
successful.
Yeah.
No.
I want to cheers to that. I want
I
to cheers to like
know.
all the different paths that could have led us here. Like one path led us here today, and we're all
Yep.
we're all
Mhm.
healthy,
Kampai.
safe, and like prospering. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get
Cheers
to
to
be
that.
friends because this
Yeah, dude.
weird thing that we enjoy,
yeah,
Yeah.
which is also was kind of illegal at one point.
yeah, that's true.
More so in his day. What brought you to the Goodest cast? Like, why'd you do it?
It was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I did a podcast with Mez and Billy Sutton.
Oh.
Mhm.
Where did that
Mez
go?
of Reckon.
They-
They kind of passed me the torch.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I remember like they were doing that,
Yeah,
and,
it was-
and Billy hit me up to do something with them too. And
yeah,
then
it's
just
called
didn't happen.
Unexplored Lines.
Yeah,
And like Mez is one of the funniest people
Yeah.
on the planet.
yeah.
Like I spent a week with him when I went to Australia to drive
Okay,
the
yeah,
halfway
yeah.
hangs. And like him and I, he has this like Chevy van that he imported from the US, and it's left hand
of
drive.
What kind of van?
It's like just Chevy. It's like a Chevy box van.
There's just no name. It's just
I don't
van.
know, it's Chevy 20 or whatever. It's
Yeah.
got a 350 in it, of course. Small block Chevy, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
And like we're just driving around drinking beers in this van. Like
That's
And-
right.
and
You're saying
he's
like
on the like left side of the car, and like
Yeah.
everyone's like shocked when they see it because it's like
Yeah.
a left hand drive and right hand drive in Australia. And like I'm just like, yeah, it feels normal,
yeah.
We're like cracking jokes and just like having a fucking wild time. Anyway, total tangent. So I did that podcast with them, and I was like, dude, this is really fun.
Mm.
And like I've listened to podcasts and like radio shows. My mom is like super like okay. When I was in continuation school, I got out early, and like also I dropped out of high school. I was in this like continuation school. It was just like daycare. Like we had 2 classes, math and English. And like they were teaching us like algebra in like sophomore year,
Yeah.
and they were teaching us like the ABCs,
Yeah.
and watching like Heat, whenever the teacher felt like it was the weirdest fucking school ever. And like our they had like ex-prison guards as like the school security, and
The
so like
heck?
there'd be like fights and shit, and like they'd like break it up, and like I don't know, it was like day juvie. It was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. And this
Yeah.
is before the like drug dealing stuff. So I was like, I had like a weird childhood, so I
You were on a weird path.
was on a
dude.
weird path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I just straight like the entire school ditched to go see the Get Rich or Die Trying movie the day
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah.
And like all the like school people like came to the mall and like fucking like dragging people out of the movie theater.
What?
yeah. Yeah, and like probation officers were showing up. One time this kid's grill got stolen, like his gold teeth, and they had to shut down the whole school.
Wait,
and, like,
why was it not in
search
his
everyone.
mouth though?
I don't know. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And that one of the teachers from that school ended up like being like a bar like booze hound, and would be like at these like local bars when I was like 21. He'd be
Yeah.
like, hey Palmer, what's up, man? How you been?
Oh,
He's
dang.
like, you got any blow? And I'm just like, what? Like, no.
Dang.
I was like, you still teaching? And he's like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm selling Kirby vacuum
Oh,
cleaners door to door.
dude.
And I was just like, okay, your life is.
What a winner.
Anyway, so the Goodest cast. So I did that podcast with them. Super fun. Growing up, my mom and I used to listen to like a lot of radio shows. Like
Mhm.
we would listen to Howard Stern on the way to school. Probably not a good idea. I was a little young for that.
Yeah.
I would listen to Loveline when I went to sleep like every night. I didn't have a
Dang.
TV.
Same.
I didn't have a TV, so I
Dang.
would like listen to the radio a lot. We'd listen to Car Talk. And I was like,
Yeah.
me and my
That's
mom loved
NPR,
Car-
right?
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Click and Clack, shout out.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see
Dude,
like
that's the first
You-
car podcast.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what
Yeah.
was crazy was seeing the Goodest cast in the top 5
That's wild.
with Car Talk
Dude,
on the
that
Apple
is
podcasting.
wild.
I was like, you got to be fucking kidding
Yeah,
me. Like,
congrats, dude. That's
because
awesome.
like I listened to that religiously.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it was like our thing because I would drive my mom to and from the city for her like business because she would go get like her coats made at like she worked with these like seamstresses and stuff, so we'd have to like drive around to all of them like and so like I would just she had an LS 400 at the time.
What?
Yeah, like first
It's
gen.
fancy.
Was
It
it
was-
old?
It was gold.
No, was it old?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was like 220,000 miles.
Okay,
on
okay,
it,
okay,
like,
okay.
But it had an LSD in it. And
Still sick.
I didn't know. It was like it came with the LSD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
don't know.
She looked at you. She's like, "Don't touch it."
No,
my
I would drive.
car.
I would drive with my learner's permit. I would
LS4
drive her all around the city to all of her.
That was not
seamstresses
the
and
Street
stuff.
Fighter car. That was
That's the UFC ECF 10.
I don't know.
I'm dyslexic, dude. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the
chassis codes
very
for those
first
things.
LS 400. Like
Yeah.
the like.
That
Street
was
Fighter
that was
car.
a Street
Yeah,
Fighter
yeah,
car.
yeah,
then.
yeah. My mom had one of those.
That's
I
the
told her
big
to buy
boss
it
car.
because
Yeah.
I was like googling like reliable old
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
Because the Volvo, there's like anyway, the Volvo got totaled it's complicated. Wasn't me.
Okay.
It wasn't me. I didn't.
Sure.
It was nothing to do with this time, right?
You were not the last straw, but
No, I did not break the camel's back, but
Okay.
I definitely took some straws from that car. So she had this LS 400, and I would like drive her around, and like we would listen to like Car Talk or
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like so we had like a lot of like road miles together.
yeah.
And
Was this something you enjoyed listening, or you kind of just
oh yeah, I
listened
loved
'cause-
it.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
I always love listening to like talk stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I don't know, and like I love stand up comedy, and so I started commuting like a shit ton. I was driving like 3-4 hours a day for commute,
Mhm.
and I was listening to like a lot of podcasts then.
What was your first podcast that you listened to?
But I was starting. I can't remember, but I listened to Joe Rogan a decent amount.
Okay.
Because like my friend, I was like, oh, that guy's like super racist, and they're like, what? No, he's not. And I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And then I was like, oh, he's just a weird stoner guy.
Okay.
Like, he's not really that racist. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. So I listened to that for a while, and then I don't know. Through that, you like find other comedians, and I started listening to their podcasts. And
I got hooked from the Serial podcast, the NPR Serial podcast about that.
the serial killer stuff.
No, about I think it was called Serial. It was about that guy that was incarcerated for murder, but
Oh yeah.
That-
I listened to that straight through.
yeah,
from
dude, that thing.
San Diego
Yeah,
to
Adnan Syed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah,
Nadine
yeah,
about
yeah.
that, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm listening
was
to this
good.
podcast, and
Yes.
um,
And it's a famous one because like they reopened
had several-
everything,
yeah.
because of that.
It's also like
podcast.
I don't know. I drive a lot, as anybody in drifting.
Mm.
Like people probably listening to this or watching this, like you.
I always
Do-
get the best downloads right before an event
Yeah.
because people are driving, like towing their cars like hours to an event. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like people are all like every time I go to Final Bout, people are like, dude, I just heard your voice
Yeah.
for 8 hours. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was like a natural progression, and
Mhm.
like I did one, and I felt like I did a good job on it. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm like kind of entertaining, like I think I
Yeah.
don't know, and I was like, but like really deep down, I wanted my friends like personalities that don't shine through on social
Yeah.
media, like at
So
the
all you see
forefront.
is like pictures, videos,
Yeah, or-
but they're so
yeah.
much cooler than that. Like there's
Yeah,
so
and
much
it's, like-
more to them. Yeah.
I didn't watch vlogs. I don't really watch vlogs. Like I don't watch YouTube content often. Like I don't like, and I feel like that's how a lot of people get like the personality or like
Mm.
shop hangs like feels. But like I don't do that. Like I don't watch like a lot of TV. I listen to stuff while I do things.
Okay.
And so like that's the kind of person that I am. And so like that's what I've gone after.
Yeah.
Right. Like I was like, I'm not gonna start like a YouTube channel because like I don't watch YouTube. I don't know what people like
you
on
can't
YouTube
relate.
because it's
Yeah.
not something that I'm into. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. It was COVID. Everyone had plenty of free time.
Yeah.
So it was like really easy to schedule people to do the podcast because like
Yeah.
no one was leaving their house and stuff.
Yep,
And
yep.
it was also really nice to give something people to listen to during COVID
Yeah.
and like feel included because we're
Yeah.
like locked up.
Yeah. You're like alone. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are not with their families or their
Yeah, it
friends.
was a
and
very weird time.
yeah, totally.
And then like I don't know, just kept doing it because people seem to enjoy it. Like I get a lot of compliments on it, and people like reach out a lot and tell me that I've had people tell me that it's helped them through tough times, and it's
Yeah.
like how could you not find that motivating?
Yeah.
It's like literally all we want to do is as people is help others and bring like happiness to other people
Yeah.
and get validation.
No, a lot of what I get through when listening to your podcast is like when you interview someone that I don't know, like I get to know them and I kind of feel like I'm in the room. And a lot of times I'm thinking like as you guys are having your conversation, like I have like things that I want to tell you guys, even though I'm not there physically with you
I do that
real
too.
time, but it's just like I want to be in this conversation, but it does help me feel like included in
Yeah.
that. It makes
And
me feel part of it.
Don't we all want to be included?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, everything's like, I don't know, like a lot of this stuff feels like kind of out of reach for people. I'm like learning about how there's people in other countries who probably absolutely love drifting, but they
Yeah.
have no shot at like,
Yeah.
just getting a car is difficult, like
Yeah.
giving them some kind of like feeling like they're getting to like hang out with the people that they like are really interested in. It's
Mhm.
like the best feeling.
Yep. I agree.
What's next for the Still Lady Mania podcast?
I want to do an in-person finale. And I've been telling Benson since season 1, like right before we're finishing season
Aren't they all
1.
in person usually?
No, like
Like
have
a
an
live audience?
Oh, that'd be sick.
Dude, that'd be sick. And we like have
Can
a
I go?
stage. Yeah, we get front row. Like I'll
Alright,
save you a
sick.
seat.
All right.
And like, yeah, and we have our old guests come and like fans. You could win a raffle and get in, or maybe we charge for tickets and donate the admissions to like a charity, or like I don't know. But I always tell Benson, like, let's go big with like the finale episode of the season. But he's just Mr. Calculated and very
It's
like,
it's,
you
you
know.
know,
That's
like
a lot of
it's the self doubt.
No, it's easy.
And
Let's stream this shit and let's do it. Like let's
Yeah.
just do it. And
Yeah.
then Benson's like, oh, I don't know. I have to think about it. We gotta plan it. Oh no, that's too much. Let's just stay here. So
it's scary.
that's like we push each other, right? So that's my push to him.
Yeah, you're the
I'm like, let's go, let's do it, let's
you're
go
the
big.
you're the big scale.
yeah.
And Benson's like, well,
Let's think about that and put a pin in it. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm gonna keep pushing till we get it. But I mean, like that's for the podcast this season. I would hope that we could change it up. Hint, hint. But yeah. But I think like Benson's having more variety of people on the podcast this season. So
I mean, you definitely have some like you've had big names. Like I like the Ken Gucci episode. I was like, holy fuck, I want to hang out with Ken Gucci.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, damn, that guy's cool.
Oh, you did not really have a relationship with him then?
No, not at all. Like I listened to that episode. I was like, I want to be friends with Ken
Dude,
so
Ken's
bad.
dope. Like
And now I kind of am, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like because of you. So it's like it's just
that's the thing with Ken is like it doesn't matter who you are. Ken's gonna be Ken around you, and like he doesn't have
Yeah.
that like
he's the
Ego.
one guy.
like I'm Ken
Yeah.
Gucci. Like I don't need to talk to you. Like he doesn't have
No, he's
Yeah.
one
a
guy
single.
for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
He's got one gear, and that's
Yeah.
Ken Gucci.
Yeah, yeah.
No ego there.
Yeah.
Such a sweetheart.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Just I think what you're doing is really important because you give everybody who came into this later, and like I came into it pretty early, and there's still a lot of people who are coming into this. Like you're giving them a lens into the past and like
Yeah.
what everything is, and like as you keep going, you guys are getting more like comfortable, I think, interviewing people, and like your like chemistry is really good and like easy, like you guys know no one's talking over each other and stuff, so it's been really cool to watch. Also, like I remember you saying like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. I'm like, yes, do it, like please.
Yeah.
You're like, this is my concept, and was like, please fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just happy you made the moves, and
Yeah. I
something
appreciate
happened.
it. It was really hard. It was really hard to get there for me, just because like that's not who I am. Like
Yeah.
I like
You're like, I don't
What-
want to be on wax.
I don't
You
wanna
even
be
said
on
that about
wax.
doing mine.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm afraid of being on wax. I don't want like something I said to come back. And
Yeah, like I had like before your interview, me when I was on your podcast, like I had like drinks on hand, and I was just like I had to loosen up a little bit,
Yeah.
and like even afterwards, I was like I don't know if I said anything that I shouldn't have said, or
yours was so insightful to like.
I don't even remember because I won't listen to it. But just yeah, I appreciate it. It was a long journey to get here, and like I'm glad that people like it. Um, but yeah, it was difficult. It's still a challenge just because like it's not who I am naturally.
Yeah.
Like Nadine's come a long way, and like she wasn't always natural at this, but she is now. But yeah, she's always pushing me, and
Yeah, Benson's always like the behind the scenes humble dude who like enjoys being behind the scenes and like he'll
yeah,
meet people he doesn't even know. And then he'll never speak. Like this is when he was like driving FD. He would never speak. Like, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I don't know, nothing. And he wouldn't tell anyone like, oh, I'm
I
gonna go
know
drive
that
a
blew
pro
my
event,
mind.
you know? And
I like you told me I was like so you were this like savage like mountain driver. Did like anybody know? He's like, nah, not really.
no,
I wouldn't tell
He
anybody.
would never offer that up. And then people would find out and he'd be like, fuck, they found out. I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, be proud. It's okay. And like he laughs because his coworkers will find out. And then
Oh no, they
you
don't
know,
stop. Like I'll be on a call with a vendor or like a client, and then
I
like one of my
heard.
coworkers will just bring it up, and I'm just like, they don't care about drifting, or there's just I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I love that. Like I love that. And even like today when we meet people, you know, we were doing a photo shoot with my car like 2 weeks ago. And then the photographer was there and then he had people helping him. And then, you know, we did the shoot. Benson was there, like talking to them, and we went home. The next day Benson creates a group chat on IG, and then he adds them in and he says, hey, thanks again, here's some footage from the day or whatever they're talking. And then I see the guy the next day as we're doing more of the shoot, and he's like, I didn't know that your husband is Delaney Mania. Like, we didn't know, and we listened to the podcast, and he did the whole time, the whole 2 hours we're sitting there at my shoot. Benson
no
didn't
clue.
even say like I have a podcast or anything like
Yeah.
that. And they
Well,
were
there's
like
there's
talking.
nothing cringier than telling someone you have a podcast without them asking. Let me tell you from experience.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I just feel like
You know that meme where it's like the fucking people like dancing at the party and there's a guy in the corner.
Yeah.
And like I was like thinking about it today. I was like, oh my god. Like literally it's like they don't know how I have a podcast.
Yeah.
One. And I was like, this is my fucking like I don't know.
Yeah, but I love that.
There's nothing more awkward than like when people find out you have a podcast and then they ask you about it and you have to like explain your podcast to somebody and they don't care.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh.
But I have people ask me, the mailman asked me about it because I think he saw, like he came in to deliver something.
The gear.
He saw the
like,
gear.
What's up with your gear?
Yeah, you know, and I'm like, oh, we have a podcast about drifting, and he's like, what? I had S13, and then he starts, you know, talking, and he's like, what is it? I'm gonna listen to it. So like, you know,
sick. Now your mailman's a fan.
Yes, yeah, he
now you're not only you're gonna be signing up for packages and autographs.
Yes, seriously. He's like, I listened to it on my route, so it's funny. It's funny how that stuff comes up, but I think it's great. Like I'm so glad that Benson made the leap, and I think it's the hugest thing that he's ever done. Like, you know,
it's the most like courageous thing I've ever done, like more than Formula D.
Yeah, I know. I'm serious. Yeah, I think so. It's pretty consuming. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's a lot of
very
work.
Consuming.
Yeah.
Well, less so for mine because I don't put in as much effort as you guys, but
just the scheduling.
What you don't do in, you know, like all of the post work that we do, or
this is the
whatever.
most produced one I've ever
but
done.
Like
we have lights,
but
we have
more
your
than
effort,
one
light.
Your effort shows up in different ways. Like you do a lot more interviews than we do, right? So like every interview takes a lot of work, whether you do a lot of posts or not. So or whatever it is, you know, all the setup that we do, like you just
well, it's like knowing who to have on next and all that stuff. And the timing and
Yeah.
You know, there's like always people that you want to have on and they want to do it, but you can't get the like schedules to line up. And then you're like, okay, well, who do I have on instead? And you're like, well, I don't want to like rank people. That feels weird. And it's just like, there's.
And you're traveling with your setup and stuff too. And
I'm a traveling man.
Every time you show up to a new interview with all of your travel gear, like that's a new challenge that you don't know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of work.
Kazuya's episode was super echoey, and I had to like.
No, I didn't notice. Yeah, I was too busy listening to like
how quiet it was,
all the gems that that were happening in that interview. That like I didn't even notice that it was echoey.
But like I don't know, just being able to. The coolest part about doing a podcast is you get to like sit down with people and like learn about them.
Yeah.
And then everybody else gets to like have that experience too.
The experience
like,
with you.
Me learning about people like you guys and all these other people that I have on is just so rewarding. Like you like all the lead up to it and like trying to schedule it and like do all that is such a headache. But like sitting down and like actually having a conversation with somebody and learning about like how they found drifting and like who they are as a person and like how they operate and stuff is just, I don't know. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. And it's weird how like that doesn't naturally happen organically if you sit down and you just like have a chat with this guy. Like if you're not sitting down with the purpose of having an interview and talking about like origin stories or sharing like events that have happened, like you don't really delve deep like you do in an interview. So like it gives you like a special moment where you can like really get in and like share stories and and all that stuff.
Your Hawaii trips have changed drastically since your Hawaii episodes. Like but those episodes were great, dude. The ones where you did like 3 people, everybody was entertaining. Like it was like such a unique spin and like all this like it like opened up my eyes to this world of like Hawaiian drift culture that I knew nothing about. Like I had watched like a couple of the videos from back in the day, but it didn't like stick. And it's like it doesn't give you like they painted the picture.
You didn't get the context behind it.
Which is great.
I mean, we were like Benson knew some, but I didn't know as much as he did. So like I feel like those episodes too were the ones where we were all learning together. And it was kind of natural to talk to them because it's like, oh well, I want to know, and I'm sure the listeners want to know. And I felt like that was the most rewarding because they're so underground or just hidden, right? Like the Hawaii guys. But yeah, those are my personal favorites.
Some of my favorite podcast episodes are people with like almost no following.
Like those are the most rewarding, right?
Because like you're like, what?
Like I really enjoyed.
That's insane. You know?
Like I really enjoyed doing the Chris Forsberg episode because like he's so well known and people don't.
You definitely humanized him.
Yeah, like you don't realize how much of an OG he was and like where he came from. But
he drove for Signal. I had no idea. I didn't know any of that.
It was so crazy seeing that. But you know, like it's the little guy who like no one knows who they are, and then you have that platform to give them flowers and like put on wax like all the cool things that they did and like why like if you love drifting, like you should appreciate this guy. Like doing that for like unknown people, like that's the most rewarding.
Yeah.
But like
you've done that a lot.
I try.
You've done that a lot.
I try. Like yeah. And I think one of the things I'm trying to do, like to answer your question about what's in the future for Silly Mania podcast is like I wanna start touching on like the early import racing culture in SoCal.
Yeah.
So like I think there's
I
less
know nothing about it, but
there's
it's
less
super
known
interesting
about
to
that
me.
because it's older. The people that were involved are getting older. They're starting to pass away, you know, like sadly. But like there's all of those stories that are out there still that we can capture, and it's
that only a handful of people know.
Only a handful of people know. So I'm trying to get into that a little bit more and expand the storytelling beyond drifting, because to me, if that didn't happen, drifting wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And then like a project that I feel like it would be a really cool thing is like there maybe a lot of people don't realize, because if you know about anything about drag racing these days with like imports, you see imports doing like 8-second, 9-second quarter miles. But like back in the day, that was like the unbreakable barrier to get sub 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And so, but like Nadine and I were around, we were in the cars when that was happening. Like people were trying to break past the 10-second mark. And so like we know a lot of people that were involved. We know like some of the Japanese guys brought their works cars here to like try and be a part of that. So like I kind of want to tell that story too.
Yeah.
I think that one would kind of feel like the Hawaii episode to me.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. I'm all ears for that. Because, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's really, I watched the original Fast and Furious and I was like, I'm getting a.
you know what's up now.
I'm
You're
getting
in
an
the know.
eclipse.
No. Don't do that.
Stop.
I watched the original Fast and Furious before I was a drug dealer.
Okay.
But I was like, damn, whatever
that's
they're
what I
doing, I
need.
want it. Yeah, I was like, I watched that at like a friend's house.
I was just talking to someone about so the paint guy that I would always go to, his
Mhm.
name was PJ, or his name is PJ Bonifacio.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go, like, that's where I got my body work done to like change my car from a 240 to a Sil 80.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that worked there owned that Eclipse.
No
Like,
way.
before
The
it turned
one?
green. It wasn't green before.
Oh,
He was
no.
one of the
one with
workers
roof
there.
Scoop?
Yeah, the one with the roof scoop, the one with the weird, I don't know what livery that was, like a knight
Eagle
or
or something?
something on the
Yeah.
side of the car. But
I
yeah,
have
like
no idea what's on
he
it.
painted his car green
Seen that car
for the
100
movie.
times. I don't know
Yeah,
what's on the side.
he painted the car green. He put the stickers on. Like I knew what was going on. I knew he was doing the movie, and like it was on the lift every time I would come by to like get my car worked on or visit PJ. And then like it turned into that iconic green car. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he was just like this Filipino dude that worked there.
There was like a lot of shit I couldn't figure out, like in the opening scene when he's like going super fast and then he like can't go fast enough and the car like spins out. I was like,
why?
yeah, I was like, it didn't like make any sense to me.
It didn't make any sense.
I was like, why would the car spin out because it can't go fast enough? Why does he need nitrous to not
That's
spin
good
out?
you were thinking about that
Yeah,
though,
I was
because I
like,
don't know how many people actually realize like why would you just spin out?
there was like cheesy shit in there, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was also like, I don't know, like illegal and like criminal.
Yeah.
And, like I was like really into shit like that. So
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
criminal and cars. I was like, this is me. You know? So,
Yo.
but I don't know. It's changed a lot of people, but I don't think that I got into like cars because of that. Like I was into cars before Fast and Furious, but that like was definitely something that like affected some of the things that I like.
Yeah. That was like the gateway for so many people to get into drifting and get into cars.
What was it like after that movie came out? Did everything change?
Do you want to talk about that?
Weren't you the hand model for Tokyo Drift?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I brag about that all the time.
I
was people like, oh, you drift like Tokyo Drift. I was like, my friend was the hand model for the girl
Hand
main
and
character.
feet too, right?
Yeah,
they're
hand
like,
and feet.
Did you like get a pedicure before? Manicure and pedicure?
No, check this.
Quick
so,
mani
like,
Yeah.
I'm about to be on camera.
That looked good.
the Fast and the Furious people call me. They're like, "Oh, we need a
You
double."
were making money off your feet before that was a thing.
They
What's
called
up,
me,
Phoebe?
and I don't even remember if it was a DM on MySpace or if they called me. Whatever, they called, and
A
then
DM on MySpace.
I don't even know. It was a long time ago, okay, guys.
Yeah.
But no, they asked me, and I knew the movie was in the works, and I was pissed that the movie was in the works because I was like,
You guys are
"Damn
gonna
it."
fuck my shit
Yeah,
up.
they're gonna
Yeah.
fuck up drifting, and then
Yeah.
they go, "Hey, we need a double for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Can you come?" And it's a half-day job, and I'm like, I'll think about it. I'll let you know, because like that was crazy. I didn't want to sell out,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, the once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
So
To pretend to drift an RX-8.
yes, so I did it, and
Yeah.
I was like, I went into wardrobe, dressed up as Neela, got to sit in the RX-8, but it's all in studio.
Yeah.
So, and they're like, now shift. I was like, what? You want me to? Okay, whatever. And they're like, shift again. okay, turn the wheel, shift again. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. But like,
Yeah.
I,
Did they have like the turning strobe
Well, your
light
They
thing?
had
handwork,
the
your handwork
lights.
was really good.
oh, thanks. Like, yeah, they had the lights moving, the fans on. They're coaching me the whole way. And I'm like, dude, you couldn't have called someone else. Like you called me for this. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And we did it. And it was like a really cool experience that I got paid $150 for.
Yeah.
And like, that was it. But I mean,
Can you
Like,
tell us
where
I
my
was
about
on
royalties at?
Can you tell us
I
about the
know.
craft table?
yeah, I got there.
What was there?
And like, we had to do break.
What?
And it was like the feast of the century. And
What
it
was
was just
there?
the
What was-
food.
What
Like
kind of food?
pineapples cut into shape. Like they do a pineapple and they
Like, cut it into shapes?
they cut it, like they open a pineapple, cut
Yeah.
a shape out, and then like slice, and then like
What was the shape
breads
of an
and
RX-8?
foods and but it was like for the Hollywood people, but like
Yeah.
it was just me dressed up as Neela, like, hey,
Yeah. You're like, I'm not going to eat this whole table.
yeah, but it was
Like,
really
Were there a lot of
nice.
people there?
There was not a lot of people there,
So
and
that
I
table
did.
was there for you?
Yeah, there was
The
no one
heck?
else filming, and then
Did they ask you for a writer?
what? No,
Oh.
no.
You're like,
I wish
want a
they
bowl
did.
of only green
Yeah,
M&Ms.
I
yeah.
was on the default writer, and then what was cool
Bottle
though,
of champagne.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah.
what was cool is I looked over and the roll up was up and I saw and the NSX from the movie
Yeah.
was on a forklift
Oh, that's tight.
just sitting there like and I was like, what is that car doing over there? Whatever. And I was like eating and I was really oblivious,
Yeah.
I think, because I didn't realize the gravity of what I was doing. I was just like, I'll do this probably once in a lifetime, whatever, get to make extra money. And I didn't like realize how iconic that movie ended up being.
Yeah, like Jason
Right.
Bostrom got into drifting because of going,
Yeah,
going
a
to see
lot
that
of-
movie with his
Shut
grandma.
up.
Yes.
No, we hear a lot
Dang.
of people we know got into drifting because of Fast and the Furious, and I love that because I love those people that got into drifting
Yeah.
because of
yeah,
it. And
you shot Jason's wedding.
yes,
Yeah.
we photographed
Yeah.
his wedding, and
Benson was the second shooter.
yeah, Benson did an amazing job. We had the best.
Benson, he's always been a shooter.
He's straight. He's a good
Got
shooter.
4 kids.
Jason's wedding was
I
gorgeous.
need more sake.
We were in Borrego Springs for Jason's wedding.
Oh, that's it. You're getting the rest.
And
All right.
it's this like damn, you guys drank it all. I only got one refill.
But I think there's a little bit more in there.
Damn.
All right, here.
Jiggle it.
All right.
Hey,
Jiggle it.
hey. Oh my god.
Yes.
I like the little taps.
All right. All right, good.
All right, good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Jason's wedding was dope
Yeah.
because when
I
I
was the sound guy and
retired,
how I fucked it up.
Mm,
I retired from
I skipped
weddings.
the song when she walked out
I don't
by
remember.
accident.
I don't
No one
remember.
knew.
Yeah.
No one knew.
I had a panic attack about it.
You
Oh
did
my
good.
God.
Thanks.
Didn't come off. We
I did
haven't
do a
seen
good
it.
speech
Yeah.
though. Sorry, go ahead.
You
You
did do a
did.
good
You
speech.
did,
Yeah.
and you did all the AV work. It's
I
good.
did, yeah.
You did good.
They asked me like the day of.
You did good though.
You did amazing.
I retired from wedding photography, but then I started taking only weddings where there was drift cars. So
Sick.
like I shot a series.
Oh yeah, Jason did donuts right after the
That is-
ceremony in his
Yeah,
race
dude, he
car.
did
Yes.
street drifting.
Yeah, his
And-
street. They actually went. You can
No,
tell.
you
You
know,
can tell
Were
the
you
story.
there? You
Tell the
weren't
story.
there
Oh
during the-
yeah, I was there.
Okay.
And no, it was crazy because we were trying to go out for couples photos, and we're in Borrego Springs, and Borrego Springs apparently has all these like iron structures,
Yeah.
like welded into
Yeah,
like
dragons, and
dragons,
shit.
Yeah.
and like people will go there just to see those things.
Yeah,
So we were headed there.
some like Burning Man artists like retired
Yeah.
to Borrego Springs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're beautiful. And I'm like, dude, let's do couples portraits there.
Yeah, with the
And
car.
then- yeah. And so he did the drifting after, right?
Yeah, it was
Like-
that. You guys
Mhm.
did like the cute like couples photos, and then some guys like, "Is that a Honda?" Like,
Yeah.
Yes, and in mind
but
you,
it was like an
there's-
Asian dude with a southern accent.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
fuck-
yeah.
that-
Dude,
that,
you have
that
good
shit
memory.
threw me.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there was like, 50 people there at the statue, like watching it. And I'm like, guys, we have a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like get everyone to get out of the way because I'm trying to like
yeah, yeah,
move
big ass
Jason's
audience.
S13 like
Yeah.
in front of the big iron dragon thing.
Yeah.
And like, Oh my god, that was the sickest shoot though. You had to put a picture up
Yeah.
on the
Or just look it up on
thing.
Jason's
Yeah.
Instagram.
That's more post work.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You have to go in and like mark it, like remember to do
Yeah.
it.
It's not like Facility Meeting Podcast. Like whenever
Yeah,
I do
just-
it, I go and
just-
ding like that
yeah.
and it comes up.
Yeah. I
No?
don't have a Mark. Shout out Mark.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
shout out Mark,
Mark needs
man.
a
He does
consult.
so much work.
But yeah, after those portraits,
He
then
went streeting in his. They were like in there. He was like in his suit, and she was in her dress.
Yeah.
And they were streeting the
He's-
S13.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
so sick.
so Benson and I like parked on the
It was
side of
so
the road.
fucking
I got
cool.
in the bushes. I'm like, "You're gonna do it here." He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna do it here." And I'm like, "All right, one shot."
It was like
No. He did
It was
the
like-
one shot.
It was
and
like third gear.
he did the one, and it was like not good enough, right?
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
like, nah, do it again.
Yeah, and then he did a sick.
It
one.
was so sick. It was so fast, and then
I
like
love
he
it.
didn't even stop to
No.
make sure he got it. Like he just kept going.
blasted to the
Yeah.
house, and we're all just like, ah,
Yeah.
Down the road.
And
So-
it's
cool.
nothing like a takeover because we were in like the middle of nowhere,
Oh
Borrego
yeah, this is like
Springs,
a
and like
desert
desert.
town
Yeah.
with like nobody.
No one was there. There was
And
no
there was
cars.
like people watching like, all the streets.
Yeah, like
So-
I was like, that was the best part. Like I was like looking at all the people that were watching. I was like, you guys don't even know what's gonna happen right now.
Yeah, like you have no fucking clue.
No,
Yeah.
no clue.
Because there's like a bunch of random people that came to
Yeah.
see the statue
To
that
see
are
the
like,
sculptures,
they're like, whoa, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
And like I heard him launch, and I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna go fast,
Dude, he started so early, and then like he clipped the corner like it was an apex.
Yeah,
like
it was so sick.
good.
I
was
love
so
that
good.
on your wedding day, right? Like I
Dope.
love that.
Yeah,
I love that. We
Yeah.
shot.
Francesca's a G for that,
Dude, she's dope.
She's ride or die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is ride or
She
die.
loves Jason so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that talk about like the embracing your significant other's passions. Like
Yeah.
Francesca all the way.
Yep.
Like,
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah. Ladies need to learn from her. Like I love it.
Damn.
Bam. And we shot Chob's wedding. Shout out Chob.
Oh,
And,
the
um,
man.
Yes. And he had his car at the wedding, and we got this really dope shot of him doing a burnout. Like
No.
Was-
It
it
was
was
Josh.
Josh.
it was Josh doing the burnout, and then Chob and Jen are like
Revgasm
kissing.
dumping clutch.
Yeah. And then they
Yeah.
were like kissing.
I
And
remember
then
seeing
the-
that and just being like, damn, that's fucking cool.
That's
That was
dope.
the bomb. I
Yeah.
love drift weddings.
Yeah.
So fun. So that's my specialty. Yeah. So let us know.
Okay.
We'll come out of retirement for your drift wedding.
Okay.
But there has to be drifting or we're not gonna come.
I'm down.
Cool.
I want to see a backy during a wedding. We haven't done that
wedding
yet.
backy.
Yeah.
And I want the
wedding backy.
veil to kind of
Oh,
fly out. Like we gotta do some effects. The veil's
Yeah.
gotta be like coming out. So make sure like when your bride, gets the veil, we gotta get like a long.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
consummate the
Long.
marriage with a reverse entry.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. It's good stuff.
God damn it. Yeah.
I wanted to come on this podcast to talk about like
Uh-oh.
how well, like how much you support me as someone who's doing a podcast.
Oh, you guys are so
And, like-
cute. Oh my gosh.
like I did my interview with you,
Yeah.
and I didn't think about it when I like came up with the idea to do my own podcast, but I'm sure that had a lot to do with me doing a podcast, just from like doing the interview with you and
Yeah, you killed it.
kind of seeing like the art of the storytelling and the interviewing and stuff like that. And I don't, like I was just telling Nadine, like so many things, small things happen in our daily lives that kind of influence the things that we say or the things that we think. And like when I think about that, I'm sure that you had a lot to do with why we started our podcast. And like the amount of support I get from you always, like that's awesome. I don't know if people think that you and I compete or anything, but it's very much like a mutual, like we want to see
Oh
each
yeah,
other
we shared
succeed.
tips and tricks and
Yeah, all the time.
software and
Yeah, like
hardware and-
my podcast is improved because of you, and like I've seen some of the things that you've done, like because of things I've shared with you. And,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like I think it's dope, and like I don't like. I wish more people felt like they didn't have to compete and they can just like support their fellow
it's
brothers.
not a
and stuff.
competition. There's
Yeah,
so many people out there.
Yep. Yep.
There's so many people out there, and like drifting's getting bigger and bigger, and there's I don't know. Everyone's got their angle or their audience or the people that they want to have on. And it's just like if we could do this as a team and like
Yeah.
promote each other's stuff. And it kind of feels like that. Like I don't know, like the faction guys reached out and they want to do, you know, like some podcasts like back and forth and
Yeah.
like there's a bunch popping up here and there, like it's cool and like everybody seems to be pretty like that's the nice part about drifting is like you're already like in this community of people who like to share and help each other out, so it's like it really hasn't felt like a competition. That being said, there's like some where I'm like that's the ops, bruh. Like, I'm trying to, you know,
like who? Just kidding. You don't have to say.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well,
I don't know, but like you'll see stuff, you'll just be like, that's different. That's not
what you're trying to do.
That's not my like view on like how I would do things. Like but I want to like I don't know. I'm just trying to get people's messages out there and like get people's personalities out there because there's a lot of really cool people in this world.
Yeah.
And like you're doing so much work to put out and gather all of these people who like otherwise like I'm okay, some of them maybe not be forgotten but be unknown for what they've done. Like Moto, like I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like I like messaged him and I was like, "Hey man, thank you for everything you've done."
Oh, that's dope.
I was like, I listened to the podcast, like I had no idea.
That's
like
dope.
Like major respect.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I think he deserves it. So
absolutely. Yeah. And like,
did he even take it? Because he won't take it from us. Like we kept saying thank you.
He didn't respond.
See, he won't take it. Slides right off. Yeah. I didn't do anything. That's Moto.
Yeah.
But you know what I love about you guys too is that Palmer can interview Ken Gushi. You can interview Ken Gushi, and you ain't stepping on each other's toes because those interviews are two completely different interviews. And like
that's facts. Like
you know?
I love listening to that Ken Gushi episode and listening to how different it was and the things that he was saying on your podcast was so different. The things like they were not contradictory, but just like because of your perspective and my perspectives, the interviews were completely different.
Yeah.
And he was telling things on your podcast that he wasn't saying on mine.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah. Like his getting caught street drifting story and losing his license and having to like his parents take girls and him to the mall on dates was the fucking funniest shit ever. And I was like, but like, you know, I can't bring that up on mine because I in the beginning I was just like, listen to Benson's if you want to hear the origin story. And that's like why I don't know. It's nice to have that like I don't know, camaraderie and like people are gonna do people's podcasts. Like if it's somebody who's down to do a podcast, they're gonna end up doing more than one.
Yeah.
Especially if they're good at it, you know. So it's just nice to like be able to not try and fight over stuff. I don't know. It's easy though. Like we were friends before we started doing this, but I think we became closer because we were both doing podcasts.
For sure.
Because we like talk a lot more about podcast stuff and like life shit and
for sure. For sure.
You guys definitely lift each other up. So it's nice. It's nice to see that.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Takes it out of you.
It's hard and like the people
sometimes
can't relate.
You just gotta check in and just be like, hey man, like you're killing it. Like,
dude, I appreciate that stressful. So much. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. I think like our relationship kind of started that way too. From that Super D event when I first met you.
When I was being a little fucking incel. And...
No, I mean like people have problems with like when it comes to, you know, like drifting competitions, for example, like when you have to put it all on the line. I was not mature
enough yet to do drifting competitions.
It's hard. It's hard. Like for someone who maybe like isn't used to all of the pressure and anxiety and like to perform in front of people also.
That was the first time I had dealt with rejection in the form of not qualifying.
Yeah.
And so like I took it poorly.
Yeah.
I was not handling it well.
Tell a story.
So it was like one of the first Super D, like there was like a Super D like skid pad series. It's like I don't know what year was that.
I don't know when that
You
happened.
were the judge for the first one.
Yeah, but not this. Well, that's the skid pad. Is that the one?
They were all skid pad ones. It was you and Yusuf from Thrash.
Yeah.
And like I didn't qualify, and like during the whole comp, I was like sitting kind of near the judges booth, like in the stands, like just shit talking. Like
What'd you
when
say?
people drove bad, I'd be like, "Oh, they fucking qualified, but not me." And, like,
I
just,
didn't
like,
even hear
really,
that. I didn't know.
okay, I was being like really corny and like
Yeah.
I was just like I did not handle it well. Like this is like part of the reason that like I've like really like taken a step back. Like that experience was like so embarrassing the next day. I was like, what was I doing? Like I really let that get to me that
Not
much.
because anyone said anything to you, but that was just your own like understanding of everything, right?
I was like, yeah, I was hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought that I drove okay, and I was like dealing with some car problems, so like I didn't really get to like
Yeah.
throw down as much as I wanted to, but I felt like I drove decent. And it's like you're not always gonna do well at stuff, and like that's something that I've really taken a lot of time to work on
Mm.
as a person. But like I didn't handle it well. I mean, this is like I don't know 6 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
at this point. Like my car was still wasn't even Jay-Z yet.
Yeah.
But I met you that day, and you texted me like a couple days later, just being like, "Hey man, like, yeah, I'm like, you know, shit happens. Like I used to get really nervous. Like
Yeah.
when I competed, like I get it. Cause I kind of fell apart. I fell apart because I was nervous and I wanted to do well and I wanted to like impress people like Benson. And there was like a lot of people there that I wanted to impress. And I was like lashing out instead of being cool about
Taking
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Instead of like being like,
Or, like,
okay,
thinking about-
I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I should have prepared my car better. Like I should have driven better. I shouldn't have let like my nerves get to me. And
Well, and I remember talking to you before the competition,
and I was
you
talking about how nervous I get.
you were talking about how nervous you got and
Yeah.
like how you were not good at competitions because
Yeah.
you get like you let anxiety kind of like affect you and stuff like that. And I remembered that. And that was one of the reasons why I reached out to you, because
Yeah.
like I could see even though you didn't do well in the competition, I could see the potential in your driving. I could see a lot of the
Yeah. I
good
drove
things
really
that you were
good
doing.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, God damn it.
And so like I just wanted to like let you know, because a lot of people like when I'm sure you've experienced this too, like when you're judging, you see everything,
Yeah.
right? And you see the good and you see the mistakes, and you also see the potential that people can that people have. And if they had the right input, or if they even asked you like,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong, what could I do better, or like to get your input, like you could bestow so much confidence in them, or like to let them know how close they are if they keep working. But
Yeah.
then they don't reach out to you, they don't ask you.
Yeah.
And so like all that kind of like all that good stuff that you can have to pass on, like you can't pass it on because they don't ask you.
Yeah.
So I remember I had your number
Yeah.
and I was like, I want to let him know.
I got a text message from Benson and I was just like, oh shit. And you're like, hey man, like I just want to let you know, like you're driving really well, like at the end of the day or something, and like gave me some like tips on like nerves and like how to deal with like competition and like rejection and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And it was just like, whoa, this dude who's like an absolute OG, and like my friends that I look up to him, like just hit me up to like make me like to help me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, this guy's cool as shit, you know, like I hadn't had an experience like that before, like in drifting. I hadn't had anyone like go out of their way to, I don't know, like someone I didn't know that well go out of their way to like,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, all right, that's fucking awesome.
How did you guys trade numbers?
I'm sure I got it from Julian or
Yeah,
something.
I didn't even have his. I didn't.
Yeah.
He just texted me out of the
Yeah.
blue. He's like, "Hey, this is Benson." I was like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah. I didn't even like,
Because I knew he
sometimes you-
judged Final Bout, and I knew he was like judging
Yeah.
Super D, and it was like I was like, okay, so like he's, you know,
Mhm.
if he's doing all that stuff, he's a big deal. And then I like Julian like told me about your past and stuff, and I was like, damn.
I didn't even know Julian knew who I was. That was kind of a surprise, but
Julian
like-
and Benson are like brothers.
yeah,
I feel like you guys
we're kind
are
of similar
very
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sometimes you do that and like they don't want to hear it anyway. So it's always a gamble, right? If you reach out and you say something,
I've given a
even if
lot
they
of
don't ask.
unsolicited advice before.
Yeah, so like they kind of like they take it how they want to take it, but you always have the good intention of like wanting to help somebody.
Yeah.
So
I think that's kind of our angle for our podcasts.
Yeah.
Too. Which is why we have very like similar perspectives on like drifting as a community and like what messages we want to put out and like that. And that's why I feel like it's very like I don't know, like our podcasts are like related, you know?
Yeah.
They're cousins.
Yeah, for
Mm.
sure.
They're kind of like covering like same people but differently, and like trying to like, you know.
There's always like spreading the positive message that
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever you're going through, like you can push through it. And, you know, there's just so many good ways that drifting can make your life better.
Yeah.
And like the experiences you get, the relationships you make, like drifting like can provide so many good things in your life that normally you wouldn't get
Mhm.
if you weren't doing it, right? So
Yeah.
or like just pursuing a passion, like if it's like making bracelets or like drifting a car backwards at 90 miles per hour, like you can kind of get the same benefits if you're passionate in both and
Yeah.
kind of following what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like watercolors.
Really?
No.
No. I want to learn.
I'll just do some paint by numbers.
We should do a watercolors podcast.
Just like interview people about watercolor.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Or
We'll be
like,
so like,
or
what
like
do you-
you're watercoloring.
What do you do?
You're watercoloring and you just have your guests just like sit there and watch you.
Like, what are you drawing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like a fish or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an ocean scene.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
really
yeah,
figured it out yet.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I like that color you chose. That's cool, man.
I'm out of blue. Can I get more water?
A water? We need water for the watercolors. That's a pretty fucking great thing to end it on, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Is there anything you missed that you want to talk about? Any more embarrassing stories about me?
They're all good stories. It shouldn't be embarrassing.
Any more Benson
Those are
crashing
good
stories?
Yeah, Benson
times.
crashing stories.
I just love Atlanta Formula D.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know
Here we
this
go.
is- this is
Here we
legendary.
go.
So good.
So this is your first. He told the story on
On my podcast. I
on
don't
the
remember
podcast.
No,
where.
let's repeat
Episode
it. 'cause
6.
You gotta
Go
Yeah,
back
I
in
list
time.
them.
I don't know what episode.
Best
but
hits. Right
it's
now.
the very first qualifying session ever in Formula D history.
Yeah. And were you the first to go?
I think they sent 2 cars out at a time for qualifying at that time. So like
Weird.
they would send one guy. I mean, you know, they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So they would
In
send one
tandem?
guy out. No, they would space us out. But
At Atlanta?
wait, right?
with
Did they?
The hill. Yeah, like I think once you got to like halfway through, then the next
No,
they
that
send
was
the
practicing.
next.
They would send 2 people out for qualifying.
Yeah, but like
it was
Atlanta
just
doubles
me.
back on itself.
Yeah, I think it was just me.
Mhm.
But yeah, like
That would be
I just
scary.
remember
I
the good
sent
part.
it.
I just
I
remember the
sent
good
it. I didn't like the course because it's
I
so.
can imagine doing that in a regular SS or regular
like, I didn't-
SSR
I
with
didn't-
like a 408.
Dude, I
funnel
did not
drive.
have a hydro. There was no such thing as like Project Mu rear brake pads.
Yeah.
It's like my e-brake always sucked because like I didn't enter any corner like that anyway.
Stock
Like
calipers.
it was
all
always
around
about
and-
like fast entry and
Yeah.
then like slow
That's why
it
we're
down.
friends.
Yeah, so like the Atlanta course, I was like, this is garbage. This track, like
Yeah.
you go down the hill and you get into 3rd gear, and then it's a 90-degree corner. Like I don't want to drift that,
Yeah.
but I had to.
Yeah.
So like I went in with a bad e-brake, and like I don't really know how to enter that fast and like immediately slow down. So
Yeah.
like I went straight, like I went way past the corner, and I went into the gravel, right?
Yeah. How far?
deep.
I was pretty far. Like I was so deep that like the rocks
Yeah.
were above my wheels. So like my car was kind of like sunken in, like, and I wasn't trying to like drive and like dig my like
Is there pictures of
accidentally.
this?
What's that?
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
pictures?
There's
Oh,
pictures.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
picture.
All right, I might have
See?
to add that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to. Look at,
So like
look
I
it
was
up.
I went in. There was a splash of rocks that flew maybe like 20 feet in the
And these
air.
are big, and the rocks were bigger than I thought they would be. It wasn't like little like pea gravel. Like
Yeah.
they were
Big rocks,
Big rocks.
and like I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Like I don't
And
know
this
if
is
you
the first round of FD.
the very first
ever.
round, the very first qualifying run ever. And I dug my car way in there. And I don't think they, like I said, this was their first event. Like
Yeah.
they didn't know, like,
They were gonna have
what
to
do
tow
we do
cars
if a
out.
car gets stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
So I got stuck. No one was coming to get
Freaking
me.
stop
Like
the whole event.
they were kind of like, what do
Oh
we
my
do,
God.
right? I got out of my car. I was like, yo, like I just kind of like inspected. The car was like deep in rocks. They had to like bring a truck out,
and it
and
was
then
so awkward.
all the truck guys were
know?
like looking at the car, like, how do we get this out of here? Because also they didn't have like the tow hook rules.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a visible tow hook
Yeah.
sticking out of the car. My tow hook was the stock tow hook
Yeah.
underneath my bumper. So like, I don't know how to get this hooked up.
And if you have arrow, it's hidden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it was a stock bumper.
It was
so, like,
my stock
he had
arrow
his, like,
bumper.
foam support still in.
Yeah,
and
like-
like it's not like, you just take a zip tie off
Yeah.
and your bumper. No. His was like
So it
stock.
took forever. And it was kind of like the biggest like anticlimax you can think of, because all the crowd was there. They were waiting to watch like cool ass qualifying, and
Yeah.
then like
And there are people
now we're doing nothing for an hour.
and then there's people in the stands with like Benson signs. Like
Yeah.
this
No
is
way.
it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, these guys made you a sign.
Yeah.
And like
That
that's
was dope.
you feel like
yeah,
you made
Atlanta
it,
fans
right?
are dope.
I love it. So I was like, damn, letting your friends
Yeah.
down.
Didn't you like jump the wall to like hang out with people?
Yeah, like that was another thing. Like they didn't know what to do with us after we finished qualifying, right? If you got
Yeah.
knocked out. So like we were stuck on the grid
Yeah.
because it's not near the pit. So like once you're knocked out, you just stay on the grid.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if you've ever been to that track.
I heard it's just like a wild party.
It's like there's a fence
Yeah.
above the walls,
Yeah.
and then people are in their pickup trucks drinking
People just
beers on
tailgating.
lawn chairs. It's totally tailgating.
because it's like
Yeah.
surrounded by cornfields.
Yeah.
And it's not developed around the track.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
Mm.
can't get a ticket or a good
I think they
seat
pay to get in, but just like people are just hanging out,
I think
having
they
a
were
good
just
time.
in a
And they
random
were watching
field.
us like standing around and they're like, yo, like, come have a beer with us. And so me and Alex Pfeiffer were just like, hell yeah, like I'm not doing
Alex
anything.
Pfeiffer's shirtless.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, this
yeah,
is
with
better
his
than
nipple ring.
sulking.
Mhm.
So we jumped the fence, and like we're hanging. Like me and Alex were on the pickup truck beds and just drinking on
Dude,
lawn
how
chairs
sick is that? Like,
in
Yeah.
our racing suits.
yeah, that's so
Yeah.
great. Like fast forward to FD now.
yeah,
20
that would never
20 years
happen.
later.
And I don't know if they're gonna be mad about this, but like, so we were chilling, and then there was a break after I think maybe it was after top 8,
Mm-hmm.
like between top 8 and top 4.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what do we do to entertain the crowd there? And so somebody was like, let's have all the people that got
Dun-
disqualified like do a demo. So me and Alex were drunk.
Well, Alex is
Alex is
He's
always
always
drunk.
yeah. That's he was shining. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
dude. And then we're like, hell yeah. So we jumped the fence again. I was like, babe, get in the car. We're going to do an
Yeah,
exhibition.
passenger, drunk, exhibition Atlanta. That was
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, you're an OG. Well, that was a great way to end it.
Times have changed. That would never happen now.
No.
Especially like, I can't imagine driving a 1200 horsepower car drunk.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Going on, you're like, what'd your SR make?
Dude, it was stock. All I had was an intercooler and a boost controller. That was it.
Oh, we're T25.
T25 and an air filter and a muffler. That's it.
Damn.
Yeah.
What muffler?
I had a Tanabe muffler.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Sponsored.
So it sounded cool.
Sounded
Mhm.
good. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Shout
I don't
out
know,
to
as a-
FD with like 180 wheel.
yeah, dude. Like, I'm sure people
cracking
couldn't
beers
even.
with the fans.
I'm sure
going and
people couldn't
driving
even
the
hear
demo.
my car when they're out there compared to the other cars. Like my car was,
Did you show up and you're just like, what the fuck did you guys sign me up for? Like,
dude. I had to take my license plate off before I ran.
And then I think like I don't even know if you remember to take out his silencer. I'm like, hey, don't forget your
Yeah,
silencer.
you had to remind me to take off my silencer.
So you
It's
get
like,
like
oh,
extra
crap.
3 horsepower from that
Yeah.
silencer.
Oh, you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That extra 3 horsepower got
Yeah,
you that
yeah,
much
Yeah,
further.
and you
in
gotta
the
sound like a race
gravel.
car, so you gotta take the silencer out.
It's good times. Paving the way. Paving the way.
Paving the gravel.
Yeah. I still find gravel in my car from Atlanta.
20 years
Yeah,
ago.
just like hidden in the chassis somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I'll like hit something with a hammer because I need to loosen a bolt or something, and then like rocks will fall out. I was like, oh, that's from
I think
Atlanta.
it was like orangey sand. It was like kind of orange. So I was like, yeah, if it's orange, it's from Atlanta.
You can like carbon date the
Yeah, dude.
your car.
Yeah.
No lab needed. Anyway, thank you for having us.
Thank you so
on.
much, Homer.
Thanks for having me in your great studio. And
Was this a
helping
good
me
one?
set
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, this is a great one.
I thank you for crossing over.
I hope I'm
with
not.
us.
I hope we're not the last episode, the one that like killed.
It just cancels me.
Yeah, just cancels you.
Like, Gina Palmer used to be a drug
Yeah,
dealer.
Palmer's in jail. There's
And
no
are
more
you gonna
Goodest
do
cast.
the merch? Are you doing crossover merch, guys?
We didn't even
Yeah,
talk
we
about
didn't
it.
talk about it. We should though.
Well, I hope so.
I'm doing a collab with Aaron and Flash VM, so we should do one too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Collabs.
Dope.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Don't think too hard on it. Just send it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, love it.
we just make some really wild shit, you know.
And push
Yeah,
print.
dude.
And push print. Some
Yeah.
watercolor shirts.
Yes.
Some like
It should be like a dot to dot that people can like,
draw in.
yeah, or like watercolor number, and then I don't know.
that's crazy.
That would be some serious streetwear drop stuff that no one from drifting would wear.
Yeah.
No, they would wear it. Color your own shirt.
Yeah. Just like a picture of me
Car
and
guys-
Benson's faces.
Yeah, dude.
Press print. That's sick.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm full of bad ideas. If you haven't learned from this podcast.
Oh,
Well, you guys are the best. Thanks
You're the
for-
best.
Thanks
You
for
are.
paving the way.
I
thank you.
appreciate you for like all the stuff that you're doing on your podcast and like making drifting feel accessible to people and getting people through their
That's cool.
day. You know, like I know that's a big one for you.
Oh
Don't-
yeah, jobs suck.
Yeah.
If you can make people's jobs like a little
Yeah,
easier,
for
that's
sure.
so good for me.
So don't
Yep.
stop. Just keep
Keep going.
churning them out, please.
I'll
Yeah.
keep pushing you.
Yeah, I have some cool stuff lined up if I can make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, talk to Nadine. She'll help you make sure
Yeah.
that happens.
Nadine's really motivational.
Yeah, she is.
Have you ever considered being a motivational speaker?
I could get paid for that, huh?
You could. You
Yeah.
get paid really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You can make people walk on like hot coals and shit like that one guy.
Yeah. You might as well
You can
do
fucking
it.
do
You can
it.
do
Yeah.
it. Believe in
Tony
yourself.
Robbins.
Yeah, dude.
Do what you dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been writing books. You write a self-help book.
Mhm.
I will. I'll
Get
put
up off the fucking couch and do some shit.
Yeah,
That's
I'll add
what I
it
would
to the
call
list.
mine.
Benson might not let me do any more stuff though.
Yeah.
Man, it's a lot.
No. I'm
It's a
done.
lot.
I'm good.
You're
I
not
mean,
done.
I'm not done, but like I won't take on any more like other
You're
other
gonna
enterprises.
continue to be an author.
I know I'm gonna do tons of books, but like I won't do the library.
Don't
like,
forget
the-
about us when you're New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
that'd
on
be
my
sick.
way. Oprah's book list, but we got to do the library later.
Okay.
The drift.
Yeah.
I
I
should do a digital one and like have
That'd
a
be sick.
subscription.
That would
I
be
want it in
that's a good idea.
person.
Just like scan
Yeah, but
everything.
not a
car on a
and-
turntable.
The cool part about doing the digital one is it's accessible to the entire
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
If you
Fine.
do the-
but I want to be a destination.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like
Once
I don't want to
once
be
the
like the
subscription-
white glove police and make sure everyone's like touching the pages nicely.
We can
and
microfiche them.
What the
no one
fuck is
knows what that is.
What is that?
Do you don't even know what that is?
No.
Oh shit!
Have you ever been to a library?
I feel attacked. Look, man, did you not hear what I said? I dropped out of high school. Okay, I sold drugs,
Back in the day, if
and
you
I'm
wanted,
a drift guy.
Well, back in the day, if you wanted to research an article from like a,
Yeah.
a periodical,
Yeah,
like a magazine or a newspaper, you would go
back
on the
when like
microfiche
stuff actually was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the microfiche machine was literally like this wheel that you spin, and it'll like give you it. It has all the black and whites of all the magazines and
Yeah.
newspapers
Oh,
ever
that's like
printed.
the shit I've seen in like the fucking old
In the
Yes,
cop
movies.
movies
yes.
where they're
Yeah,
like,
dude.
fucking, they're like,
Yeah.
Yes.
they're like, oh, I'm
So
piecing
let's
it
do
together.
it.
Yes.
For drifting magazines.
A microfacial,
Microfiche. And we'll do color
What's it called?
microfiche. Microfiche.
microfiche.
Yeah.
That sounds like saying like that
That's
sounds
gonna be your last episode.
So sorry. Drop off on your YouTube
Micro-
stats. Like drop off.
It just sounds like you're saying microfiche with an accent. I don't know what accent. I'm not gonna say that, but it just sounds
Look it
like
up. Your older listeners will thank me.
microfiche.
Yeah.
microfiche.
How is that spelled?
FISH or FISCHE.
Oh,
I think.
sounds German.
I don't know what language that
I
is.
don't know.
Microfiche.
Yeah. That's your people. You should know.
I'm not German.
Well, your car's German.
Fair.
Someone's gonna correct you. They're
Sprachen
gonna
Sie
reply in the
Deutsch?
comments. They're like, the hell. Anyway.
Fuck.
Oh, good.
All right, can't
I
wait
won't.
to visit your weird library idea.
It's not weird.
I'll be there for the grand opening.
It's gonna be an award-winning landmark. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Of tuner culture.
Yes.
Tuner culture.
Yep.
What would you call it?
The land.
The land
Dang, that's
before
boring.
time.
You
Fine,
don't know
I won't do it.
Microfiche, but you know old ass dinosaur cartoon.
I didn't go to the library, but I watched fucking Land Before Time.
Okay. How about
Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Okay, how about
If you don't like dinosaurs, fuck you.
how about the archives?
Laura's telling us that she's doing the like it's a
Damn.
wrap.
I can cut the end
Producer.
off. I don't care.
Oh my god. The archives. The drift archives.
We're spiraling out of control right now.
Tuner archives.
Okay. TA.
TA.
Turner
T and A.
archives. TNA.
Oh,
No,
gosh.
not TNA. Turner archives. The
I mean,
the tuner archives.
You've seen car magazines, right?
Stop it.
Okay, I'm getting canceled. Bye, everybody. That's it. We're out.
Later.
Let's go eat. What's up, everybody? Well, if you're not familiar with that, it's done by Benson and Nadine, and they... Is that her fucking last name?